It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, back at it. Daddy's home, boys. I will serve no fries before their time. Good to see you, boys. It is Rothman and Ice. Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes. CB behind the glass. Matty, the almonds, the blueberries, the wet ones, we are covered. Yeah. It's great to see you.
We're locked and loaded. It's great to see you as well. You and CB, you guys were gone for a couple of days. I hope you had a nice 4th of July weekend. My weekend was pretty nice, man. It's nice. Rocked out with DeVere on here on Friday, and Bodie was on the board for CB. Saturday, went to a nice little pool party. Had the whole gang coming in together. One of my buddies, he brought his son down because it was a Garrett Wilson and Jackson Smith and Jigba football camp on Sunday at Ohio Dominican. So rocked out at the pool for a while, and, you know, some of the White Claws were in the building, AR. You know what I say. Ain't no laws when you off them claws. So
when you're off them or on them?
When you're off on, same thing. You know, when you're off a ball on them, same thing. And then yesterday we got a banger of an episode for House of the Dragon. So my weekend was good. What have you guys been doing?
Yeah, you know, I have to live vicariously through you. I feel like I just live a very boring life. It was relaxing. I will tell you this: we put another tombstone in the graveyard of near Aces. Yesterday. Okay. So we're about a foot at 9 a turtle.
I don't even like when you even get that close.
Of course.
Like, let's just get it in there, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I absolutely love exactly what you just said. Here's the other thing I'll say.
Come on, man.
Real fast.
Yeah.
Is that when the ball leaves the club, you pretty much know whether it's got even a chance because, you know, you can tell either which way it's curving. Is it curving away or is it straight? Whatever. This one had the makings of going in. Because where it hit and how it was curling, and then it just stopped.
We're talking, what, 3 feet?
1 foot.
That's sick.
Yeah.
The golf guys need to go ahead and bless you with this ace. Because this is just wrong.
I meant to text it to you because it was that close. So that's pretty. That's a foot.
That's a foot.
Yeah, that's a foot.
That's a foot. You've got the Viking shirt on too right now. Which club will you? The one before you die club. Will you get the ace or the Super Bowl with your own eyes?
Whether they'd win it.
Mm-hmm. What do you think's going to happen? What's in play for you?
Probably get the ace
before the Vikings win the Super Bowl.
And I don't know if the odds are the same because I think the odds of a regular just person who golfs getting a hole in one would probably be, what do they say, 1 in 10,000, 1 in 15,000?
Yeah.
What are the? I mean, the Vikings' odds of winning the Super Bowl this year are a lot less than that.
JJ.
So you're right. It's kind of reverse. I should be getting the Vikes Super Bowl before.
The ace is on its way. Because you're going to play golf for 20 more years.
I don't know, dude.
No?
The back, put you in an early grave, the arm, the knee, the ankle, the whole deal.
You got it all.
I will tell you, here's a little bit of a hot take. I finally did get around to seeing Maverick Top Gun. I know I'm the last.
Oh, yeah,
I feel.
Yeah. What's the
and I will tell you, since I lived through the first one, you know, live in the flesh, like that was original run kind of deal, I will tell you, I came away from it thinking it was better than the first.
That's been out there.
The first is such an original, so it's hard to do that. It's because the original story is a great story, and I don't want to take away from it. And certainly, and I'm not just talking about special effects. I'm not talking about like 84, whenever it was, 84 to now 2024 when I saw it. And you think about how long that is just from advancements in movie making. You would think it would have to be better. But I'm not going to that. Okay. I just feel like it wasn't really the special effects. I felt it was the story, a little corny at the end, just a little bit, but that it needs that. And it was pretty solid, I got to tell you. Okay. I think I'm going to go that route. I don't know if I've heard anybody else talk about that. People that have lived like me through the first to the second now, but it was pretty awesome.
I haven't heard a bad thing about it. Everybody that's mentioned the most recent Top Gun has hit it with pretty high praise. So you are on that wave, and I wonder if some people heard you say that just now. Maybe they'll clap back just a little bit because sometimes the remakes, they don't get a lot of love, but this one seems like it absolutely was a home run. So Tom Cruise still doing the darn thing. That's absolutely great to hear. CB let me know, AR, that he hit the finish line of Breaking Bad. Done. Took him about a week and a half, CB?
That's strong. That's a commitment.
I would say it was maybe a little over a week and a half.
Okay.
And I was a little nervous about how the finish was going to end up, just kind of how it was trending towards to the end, but I think it ended in the most logical way possible.
Okay. Great way, right? I mean, really a great way. I think it ended.
I mean, it really puts an end to the show. Like, there's no possibility of thinking forward on it.
Well, did we get that finality out of it? Because, yes, I know where he is at the end, and I know in what position he's in at the end, but you never get the full pronouncement, really.
Yeah.
You just have to make that assumption.
Yes.
And then, obviously, we're not giving, and I don't know what statute of limitations is on this stuff, but I don't need to go into too much detail if people like CB
It finished like a decade ago, didn't it?
Ooh,
yeah, but a new generation like you, they're coming forward to see it now. That's great.
If it's beyond 5 years, we can talk about it. If it's 10 years like CB, that would surprise me if we've hit the finish line of Breaking Bad 10 years ago, but maybe that's where we're at.
Listen, Jesse driving away, that kind of look on it, like thinking of what he was involved in and then thinking where Walt was at the time and how he was able to right the final last wrong was, to me, is strong.
I'm sorry, it's not a decade. It's going to be 11 years at the end of September.
Okay, that's
crazy.
Absolutely insane. How about when Jesse was just making it rain in the neighborhood, just throwing the money out the window in one of those final episodes? Imagine if you're one of those people. You wake up and there's literally like probably a couple $1,000 just in your driveway. Like, what do I do to deserve this?
It's a long journey to rewatch.
But it's worth it.
I don't think I need to. It's one of those things that I went through the journey. It was a long, anxious, terrific journey. But I feel like now I've made it to the other side.
You know what I do, AR? Because I'm kind of with you on that, and I do the same thing with Game of Thrones, where I pick and choose some of the episodes that I really liked, and I go back and I watch that. Like, I'll always go back and watch, The Red Wedding and Battle of the Bastards and Hard Home and all of those episodes that I just can recall just the names alone because it stuck with me and my jaw was on the floor when the credits started to roll at the end of those episodes. Like, that's how I treat some of my favorite shows, where I'll pick and choose pockets of what I want to go back and watch. I will say this: Breaking Bad did a much better job of rounding out the show than Game of Thrones did. I wasn't in love with the end of Breaking Bad, but it didn't have me feeling salty the way that I felt when we were done with Game of Thrones, and I was like, this is a joke.
So you and I feel the same way. I remember coming in after Game of Thrones and saying to you guys, this is the one word that I could never apply to Game of Thrones. I got to apply to it, and it's a bad word. It's corny. When something like that gets corny, then you've really just done a horrible thing, because it was never that way, and it never should have been that way.
Yeah.
But as far as Breaking Bad going back, I feel like this would be like, have you guys both seen Shawshank?
Yes.
All right. This would be like Andy Dufresne having to go back through the pipe the other way.
How much you need to do that right now? Blank check. Start to finish. You got to crawl through there with all the what down there.
Yeah.
What does Anthony Rothman need to pop up in his bank account to tackle that task? Wasn't it raining when he came out on the other side?
Well, that was good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That was good it was raining.
I'll even give you a nice cleanse when you come out.
I mean, if you need to do a trial run to test it out, I think we can just go up to Mansfield, right?
I haven't done it yet. I haven't done the tour yet. I need to do that.
Got to be some ghosting or something, right?
Boy.
How much you need? $50K?
I'd like to see my friend, shake his hand.
$100K.
I think 100. Well, how long did they say it was in the movie? The quote, was it 3 football fields? Is that what the quote was?
That sounds about right.
By the way, that is a quote that I need. Oh, here it is. Andy crawled to freedom through 500 yards of blank smelling foulness I can't even imagine.
Oof.
Or maybe I just don't want to. 500 yards. That's the length of 5 football fields. Just shy of a half a mile. I don't think I could do. You said $100,000.
No.
500 yards
not
through
enough.
that.
$100K is not enough.
Seems kind of long too, by the way. But when you look back at the prison, you could understand maybe it was 500.
I think I'm at a minimum of $500K.
100,000 per football field.
Yeah.
See, I'm shocked because you've put prices on things so absurdly high. I would think you'd be in the millions. The fact that you the hand sanitizer, wet ones guy, be willing to go into that pipe and crawl 500 yards for $500,000? CB, what was he not willing to do for like $5 million?
Sit in the freezing cold game, whatever that game was.
The Freezer Bowl in Cincinnati.
$1 million. $1 million. But here's the thing, though. You're telling me if I come out of the sewage here, that Mother Nature is going to make it rain. So I get an immediate cleanse here.
I get you into a nice hot shower right after the Freezer Bowl, and you don't have to crawl through that.
I don't think you want to do that, right? They say I don't think you want to, when you're that cold, go to hot water right away.
Hot, but yeah. You're right. You got to kind of let your body. You're right. Your body might just freeze up.
I'm telling you, I'm worthless when it comes to the freezing cold. Worthless. So I'll go $500K for the Shawshank crawl.
What a bargain. That's amazing. Yeah, I think the problem is I think you'd get so violently ill doing it mentally and physically. Yeah. I don't know if I'd make it. And here's the other reason why I wouldn't do it. And this is probably the main reason: the claustrophobia. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't think I could. Even if you took all the foulness and the smell out of it and said, here's the pipe, you can go in 500 yards and the money's on the outside waiting for you, I don't think I would do it. Just for the claustrophobia of it.
No, I know you're big on
yards?
That. I know you're big on that.
I bet people listening right now, it probably hit them. It's not the smell. It's not the sewage. It's the claustrophobia.
The claustrophobia wouldn't bother me, but the amount of just almost the over-under on almost throwing up for 500 yards, it'd probably be at, 15 and a half times?
That's it. How about this? Here's the other thing. If you could promise me somehow that if I got to any point and I wanted to say tap out, that somehow there's people right there ready to break that thing apart and yank you out of there in 10 seconds. If you could promise me that.
I'll allow it.
Like a whole team of people, not one person I got to count on. The whole deal.
5-6 people just scooping you up out of there immediately.
Absolutely.
But I don't know how we're going to do that, though.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to do
That's what I mean. They got to be right. They have some sort of welding torch, but the whole thing is just not good.
What's your final number?
Now I don't know if there is a number based on the claustrophobia.
There we go.
I don't think there is a number. I think I'm just going to sit this one out, and I'll celebrate when you get spit out the other side.
I thought they said a man's always got a price.
Yes, a man does always have his price. And I don't know where I could get to that psychologically I could get over the hump.
Okay.
That's a rough one.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's my analogy to rewatching Breaking Bad. I just don't think I can get back in the pipe again. We got a lot for you today. Andy Backstrom, OSU beat writer, Lettermen Row at 12:33. We'll party like a RothStar this hour. And up next, Ryan Day on the One Motivation. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Chops his serial killer eyes, and Reeser can grow a full beard before lunch. What can your friends do? Bishop and Friends.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Hey, it's Anthony here for the Bath Authority. You spend a ton of time in your bathroom, and if you're trying to ignore your old, outdated bath or shower or that mold and mildew along with the broken tiles, you gotta call my friends at the Bath Authority. The Bath Authority provides the highest quality bathroom remodeling products along with a world-class customer experience. And all Bath Authority products are 100% made in the USA, and they can be installed in as little as 1 day by certified factory technicians. TheBathAuthority.com. A better bath awaits.
Hi, it's Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Need a perfect gift? Check out the new line of Glock watches and other stunning jewelry at Worthington Jewelers. Make every occasion sparkle with Worthington Jewelers, where exceptional gifts await.
There's something about country music that's just so easy. Like a Bud Light. Simple stories, soulful melodies, and lyrics that refer to drinking a Bud Light in the sun. So keep it easy. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app or listen at home on your smart speaker or open up the iHeartRadio app or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
America's favorite car show returns to Columbus with a jam-packed weekend of cool cars, cool people, and good times. It's the Good Guys 26th Summit Racing National, and it's all happening this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center. Cruise on out with your family and friends and check out over 6,000 of the country's coolest classics on display. And don't miss Good Guys CPP Autocross Racing action, Nitro Thunderfest, a huge swap meet and vendor midway, live music, family fun, and so much more. It's Ohio's biggest hot rodding party of the summer, and it's all going down this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center. Get details at good-guys.com.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or a new golfer, think beyond the green and head over to X Golf Columbus and X Golf Powell. Come experience the most advanced and accurate golf simulators in the world at X Golf. A fun venue with great food, excellent service, and a full bar. You can play around on one of our 50 courses, take a lesson from our PGA Pro, hit the driving range, join a league, or just sit back and sip a beer on the outdoor patio. Book your tee time today at playxgolf.com. X Golf Columbus and X Golf Powell, the home of indoor golf.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See? We didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, sunny, hot, and humid with a high of 93. Today's actually the hottest day of the week. Tomorrow will be slightly cooler. We'll have a few afternoon showers and storms on your Tuesday with a high of 89, and then some heavy rain Tuesday night going into Wednesday as the remnants of Hurricane Burrow move into central Ohio. I'm meteorologist Dylan Rubshod with your Doppler 10 forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
It's Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, Ice, tell them about it.
Yes, sir. It is the Cardell Jones softball celebrity game. It is the Schmitz Cardell Jones celebrity softball game, and it's on its way. And why picnic when you can Schmitnick? It is presented by Monogram Homes, and it's coming up on Saturday, July 20th at 6:30 p.m. over at Huntington Park. Current Ohio State football players, they're taking on former Ohio State football players. Cardell Jones, he is the captain of the former players team. Emeka Egbuka, he is the captain of the current players team. Will Howard, Devin Brown, DeVere Posey, Tyvis Powell, James Laurinaitis, just some of the names that will be in attendance and participating. And you can participate by getting tickets at BuckeyeCruise.com for $10, or you can stick with Rothman and Ice today and Wednesday because we're handing out a family 4-pack of tickets to this celebrity softball game. So stick with us today and Wednesday, and if you get our question right at any point in time, you'll be in the building on July 20th.
Cool. We'll get you in there. All right, so you start thinking about, we've been thinking about the Ohio State-Michigan game for a long time now, especially the last few years and what's happened. It's every storyline imaginable. Everyone's got a different opinion on why it's happened, what it's turned into, and all that. You go back people like to cut it off at 2000 just to kind of give it a round number, even though Michigan won the game in 2000. But when you think about the record, 17-6 over the last 23 years, everybody knows Ohio State's dominated, and they had that big run from 2012 to 2019, and then here we go. And so everyone's talking about that this is it. And we've talked, all the chips are in the middle. Look at the way Ohio State's answered the bell on recruiting and NIL and everything and trying to navigate the waters. When you are this program, and I said it years ago when the NIL first happened, Maddie, and they were losing guys they would normally lose. It was a transition mentally for this university to feel like, wait a minute, we're losing to money? How could that even happen? Well, when you're Ohio State, you feel pretty proud about your tradition of being able to recruit greatness, develop greatness, and make it equal wins and fight for national titles. Because what they've been selling for a century of platform, tradition, NFL, the brotherhood, everything about it. When you are one of the top prospects in the country, Ohio State has access to you, period. There's no door they can't open. And Michigan finally got to a point where they had not bottomed out, but mentally, where they had two choices, Maddie. They either decide that this is their fate in life as a university, that they will continue to lose to Ohio State. They won't get over on them. Something will happen in a game, whether it's third quarter, fourth quarter, something will happen. Whether it's JT Barrett's sneak, whether it's that the scramble, all that stuff, something will happen. Whether it's an interception at the goal line or going for two or all that. And they got to a point where what Harbaugh said, which is we're going to beat them or die trying, that it finally happened. They finally beat them. They didn't have to die trying. And so here we are. So everyone's discussing like where the rivalry is at this point, because Michigan, in a weird way, they have all this momentum, yet it feels like they don't have the momentum anymore this year because of all those chips that are in the middle we've been talking about. So Ryan Day went on Joel Klatt's show, and Klatt had said that he had talked about the fact that the way Michigan was able to rebound is because Ohio State finally hammered them so hard for so long that there was no way else but to finally win one, that the odds had to finally switch. And now they've flopped 3 times here. Ryan Day did not give that all the credence that Klatt thought he would, and kind of just lowered it down to the lowest common denominator about being motivated.
I don't think that any year you're any more or less motivated. You know, I think every year, every team is a little bit different. But, you know, to say that those games haven't stung, I mean, of course they have. And those are bad weeks in Columbus, though, you know, when you don't win that game. And so, you know, whether it's the guys deciding to come back, you know, whether it's, you know, being strong about making strong decisions in those moments. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can say that, you know, you have to figure out what needs to get fixed to win that game. And that's the bottom line. And then that's what we did.
You know what I found interesting right there is I would love to double down on what he meant by strong decisions in those moments. And maybe he as a coach has looked back on some situations throughout the last 3 years when you're taking on the Wolverines, and maybe there's been some regret there in certain spots of maybe I should have been more aggressive here, or maybe I should have done that. I thought that was pretty interesting from the quote we just heard from Coach Day. But I think what he said at the beginning of that clip is where you should be. You acknowledge where you are as a program, as a coach, as a player, everybody from the top down, and knowing that we've been on the wrong side of this for way too long. But I think if you let it consume you for too much of your time on the daily or throughout the weeks or whatever it is, that can be a distraction in a bad way. So this team, from coaches and players that we've heard from through the spring and the summer, everybody is completely, I think, in a single-minded focus here of we're going to get to that game when we get to that game. And when we get there, hopefully what we've learned over the last 3 years as a staff and as players in this locker room, we can go out there and throw out those changes or whatever we need to do to get over that hump. On the other side of it, Michigan's going to be a completely different football team this year. That team that they went up against last year had a bunch of experience, and they're going to be good again on defense, but we're going to find out a lot about who Michigan is early on in the process. We knew over the last 3 years what time it was when you got to that game. They're going to line up under Harbaugh, and they're going to try to out-physical you more times than not. And you got to give it to him. That showed itself throughout the game. So styles make fights, as we all know. And now under Coach Moore up there at Michigan, what is he going to bring to the table? And what is Coach Day going to bring to the table in this new chapter of the rivalry? I can't wait to see. But this team, we know they have enough. They've identified all the pressure. We heard from Will Howard last week saying it's natty or bust. So they've embraced all of this. But I don't think you want to get too caught up in early portions of July and August about Michigan when you got a long road before you even get to that game.
So what he did there was what any really good coach will try to do, and that's to keep his guys and staff and everybody involved in that program present day mentality.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're not using the past as motivation. And I'm not saying he's lying to himself about I don't think any year you are any more motivated or less motivated. When the losses stack up, pride starts to show itself a little more than even it would on a yearly basis. Mm-hmm. So to me, I can't be convinced that they're not, that I believe that they are much more motivated. It doesn't mean that when you arrive at Michigan Saturday that you don't want to win. The feeling about wanting to win the game isn't always there. I think that's what he's trying to say, is that we arrive at that game with the same mentality. Nobody ever wants to lose it. But it'd be weird to kind of stack up these three. The reason why I say that it feels like this is it can't be a continuation, because I feel like Michigan, all the best movie series, right? They're all trilogies. We've had 4 and 5 series. We've had, how many did I just talk about? Mission Impossibles and Jurassic Parks and
Despicable Me just dropped Despicable Me 4.
Yeah, right.
They're cooking.
But the best
shout out to the Minions
ones are the trilogies.
Yeah.
And so Michigan just had their trilogy. It's unthinkable. No one thought it was going to happen. And that's when the rivalries are at their best, when no one in their right mind thinks it could flip, and it does. I know there are people who want to put a lot of reasons on that, and there are a lot. But you brought it up in that game. Listen, they had tied that game. They went on a 75-yard drive. They had a chance to certainly gain momentum. There were certain plays that Michigan made that they didn't. Michigan was better fundamentally. Last year they were in a lot of ways, and running and punting and fourth downs and all the little things that we don't necessarily always bring to the table called highlights. But
they matter.
They matter a lot, and they mattered then. Their kicker was better. Their punter was better. Like
that's the difference in those games.
Turnover battle was won by them.
Absolutely.
All that. And so you start checking those boxes, every coach will tell you, wait a minute, I can win the running game and the turnover battle and win special teams and win fourth downs. You give me that right now, I take it every day.
All day and tomorrow.
And so I think that he's in a point where he wants, like you said, he has to acknowledge it, but he can't obsess about it. So anytime it's brought up about the momentum and where Ohio State is all in. We've seen that mentally. But there's no way Ryan Day can look at Joel Klatt and say, yep, this one just feels different.
Yeah.
Because if he says that, and he certainly doesn't believe it, because he just doesn't want to buy into that this year I have to win 4 games.
And you don't want to give that to your opponent either. You don't want to give them the vibe of they're living rent-free in your brain. You don't want, even if that's the case when the cameras go down and the mics come off, you don't give them that type of currency publicly as a coach. So I think that's a smart way to go about it.
If he says, yep, this year if we win, it'll feel like we've won those last 3 back, plus this one that will win 4 games in 1, then you're making it too overwhelming and too daunting. It's not about righting the wrong of 3 straight years. It's about winning this year.
Winning the natty.
And then parlaying that into that.
Absolutely.
And so I understand where both are coming from.
Yeah.
But when you try to sell that maybe you're as motivated as you've always been, it might be tough to sell that. Andy Backstrom up next. We'll talk about this Buckeye team. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Scotty Vegas here for Maxima Concrete. From a basic driveway replacement to a complex in-ground pool, patio, or outdoor kitchen installation, Maxima can do it all. Pavers, natural stone, seating walls, even lighting and landscaping. Everything is in-house with Maxima, so buy from the guys that will actually perform the work. Mention 971 The Fan for $250 off your next project. Get a free estimate today by visiting MaximaConcrete.com.
Soak up the savings this summer from Family Dollar. It's never been easier. Just download the Family Dollar app, sign up for smart coupons, and see how you can save more than ever before. Enjoy smoking hot deals on cookout classics or get ready for outdoor fun with SPF for the whole family. Plus pool toys, decor, and so much more. Check out the app today and get ready to save with the Family Dollar Summer Savings Event. New offers drop every week. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
I can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand, listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
Hey, it's Anthony for the Good Feet store. 3 words for me: pain-free summer. Spent probably 30 hours walking around the Memorial Tournament and felt awesome with my personal arch supports from the Good Feet store in my everyday kicks. Sure, every now and then we all get random foot pain from pickleball or golf or just being a human being. Having my personally fit arch supports in my shoes has made a massive difference. And even right after I put them in, didn't take long to feel much more supported and aligned, and it's so easy to just move them into any pair. Before I had them, I dreaded being on my feet for any length of time. Well, you have nothing to lose but the pain, as they say. It's a free fitting and test walk. Try them for yourself. See the difference it can make. It did for me. And best of all, you can wear them home. 2 locations on Polaris Parkway and Stringtown Road, or schedule an appointment at goodfeet.com. The Good Feet store, America's arch supports experts.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with 0 copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Thoughtfully discussing the merits of Home Run Inn's frozen pizza. This is Rothman and Ice.
We talk about Ohio State, Michigan, and certainly I was never more confident than I was a couple years ago. C.J. Stroud here, that beautiful Thanksgiving weekend, revenge, the whole deal. Got caught up in it. Everybody did. Certainly the game was winnable. They didn't win it. And I was left thinking, man, I just can't figure it out from year to year. And that's what makes the rivalry. Andy Backstrom is with us, Ohio State beat writer, Lettermen Row, and a lot more on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fangast Hotline. Andy, welcome back.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Really appreciate it.
You got it, man. Thank you. I feel like this year is like that year I just talked about times 10. Like I'm at a weird confidence level, hype level. Maybe I'm getting caught up too much in it. Do you have concerns about this team righting the wrong against Michigan, going on to win a conference title, going to win a natty? Where would you be on, like, I'll flip it on you, the concern level of them answering every goal?
I mean, out of 10, I would say the concern rating for me would just be around that 6 to 7. And it's only that high just because of what's happened the last couple of years. And really that 2022 game comes to mind because offensively, as you mentioned, Ohio State had as much talent as you would ever need to beat Michigan, but defensively it broke down in the back half of that game. And I think they've made a lot of corrections defensively with Jim Knowles and dialing things back and being a little bit more conservative and eliminating those explosives. But you just never know when you get to that game, and I think that's the scary thing with this long season and injuries and depth concerns. Now, this Ohio State roster is stacked, but who knows what things will look like at the end of November. That being said, it is only at 6 or 7 because this Ohio State team is just stacked with a roster that really is built to win a national title.
Andy, as you know, more times than not, football games are won down in the trenches, and especially when we talk about the game. I want to get your feel on Ohio State's offensive line as they get ready to gear up for camp and this season. How are you feeling about the 5 guys that could potentially be holding up for Will Howard, Devin Brown, or whoever it's going to be?
I feel much more confident about the offensive line this time this year than I did this time last year, just because I feel like a lot of those pieces already feel set. The one that I'm not sure about is right guard, and that's the one that's most talked about at the moment. It's the 3 candidates you see, whether it's going to be Carson Hinsman, sliding over from that center spot, whether it's going to be Taylor Shabola getting a shot, or even Luke Montgomery, who seemed to be the front runner going into spring ball. And that just is unsettled, and it doesn't feel like one guy has the lead over the other. Now, we saw Carson Hinsman get the nod in the spring game, and then Taylor Shabola follow up with the next 2 series with the first team. So it feels like those 2 might be ahead, but it's really going to be settled in training camp. And I think that's the position I'm keying in on along with a lot of other people. But the question is, can Josh Simmons build off of a strong end to the year at left tackle? Can that left side be really great? Can Donovan Jackson, maybe be a little bit better than he was last year? I didn't think he maybe lived up to his potential during last season. So there's still question marks for me on the offensive line. I think they're in a better spot, but that's really what it's going to come down to, because you mentioned the Michigan game. Well, you got to run the football well, and you got to win the turnover battle. And last year, they just couldn't run the ball quite well enough, aside from that one drive where they were methodical. And I think it was 8 straight runs before a TreVeyon Henderson touchdown.
What would you say is the percentage of Will Howard being the starting quarterback to start the season? Is it in the 90 percentile or higher?
I can't go that high because it still does feel like a competition. That being said, I definitely believe he's the front runner still. I think that, a lot of Devin Brown leading the quarterback drills through spring practice was just the fact that he's been around the program the longest. And then we, of course, saw Will Howard get the nod for the actual spring game itself. That being said, Ryan Day is not going to hand the starting job to anyone, because not only is this an important year for his legacy in terms of beating Michigan and, even winning a national title, it's an important year for his legacy with the quarterback position. He's labeled as a quarterback whisperer his first few years at Ohio State, and really up until last year, there was no concern about the way he handled that position. And now with Kyle McCord, maybe not being the kind of greatness that Ohio State expects, and, someone like J.J. McCarthy, who Ohio State maybe could have had, excelling and being a top 10 draft pick. I mean, there's, I think, a lot of pressure to nail the quarterback position this year. So I don't think he's handing it to anyone just because Will Howard's the grad transfer who has the NIL money and is coming in. That being said, I do think he's the front runner, but he's got to win this job in training camp. And Devin Brown, as we know, will definitely not give in.
Andy, one position group that I haven't heard much about this all season is that tight end room. There's so much excitement about the running backs and wide receivers, and rightfully so. But what do you understand about maybe a pecking order or who could be the guy at tight end this year?
Yeah, and I'm not even sure a pecking order really matters too much with the tight end room, because if Keenan Bailey has it the way he wants to be able to play 4 or 5 guys. And, really the play of that depth is going to dictate how many he rotates in and the personnel packages they can get, going with Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator. But Chip Kelly at UCLA really likes to mix in a lot of 12 personnel with 2 tight ends, a lot of 13 personnel with 3 tight ends, and even some 14 personnel with 4 tight ends. So if they have more tight ends ready to play, they will play. And I don't think you're going to see a Cade Stover type stat line of, second on the team in receiving yards and up there with receptions. I think G. Scott will probably be the guy as far as tight end 1 on the depth chart. That being said, I would maybe think it's going to be more of a committee with maybe you have 5 guys who have, 5 or more catches in that tight end room this year. And, below G. Scott Jr., I think you're looking at, Patrick Gerd is a guy that I wouldn't be surprised if he fills out, that room, along with Will Kacmarek is someone that maybe could fit more of that tight end too, whereas Patrick Gerd can be more of that Mitch Rossi hybrid of a tight end fullback. And then, you're looking at guys like Bennett Christian back from the suspension. They really like the way he's grown. And even, of course, Shalani Thurman. The big question with him is, has he caught up his blocking to his receiving ability, and can they use him down at the goal line as a receiving threat?
Andy, I'll flip to the other side real quickly. Is there a guy on this defense that hasn't been talked about that we will be talking a lot about this year? Is there kind of an unsung guy right now in your mind?
I feel like Arvell Reese is someone that doesn't get talked about enough, and he's a player that came in the summer last year. Usually those summer arrivals as true freshmen don't get to play a lot, but he made an impact right away in training camp, earned special team snaps, and he's someone that they have at the middle linebacker position right now. I don't know if he's behind Gabe Powers at the moment, but he's right in there with the mix for that backup spot behind Cody Simon at the Mike spot. And Jim Knowles and James Laurinaitis, they like to rotate those guys among the linebacker positions, and he's just a big dude. I mean, he doesn't even really look like a linebacker, 6'4", super athletic. And I think when you think about C.J. Hicks and Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese needs to be in that conversation of these game-changing athletic linebackers that can really wreak havoc in a backfield.
Yeah, it might be a hard time keeping him out of that depth chart, that's for sure. All right, my man, good job. Always good catching up. Be well. We'll talk again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Andy Backstrom, OSU beat writer, Lettermen Row, here on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. All right, guys, talking to you, coming off the holidays, so you should be feeling rested and ready to go. If you're feeling tired and you're lacking motivation and drive and you feel a little bit weird about that, well, it could be signs of low testosterone. So don't wait. Find out. Go to lowtcenter.com. So at Low T Center, they're going to make it easy for you to get your levels checked. You'll take a simple blood test. They have an on-site lab. You're going to get those results back in about 25 minutes. Low T Center, it's not your typical doctor's office. Their physicians specialize in treating low T. They'll customize treatment for every patient they have. And the experts have over a decade of experience helping people achieve life-changing results. All you guys out there, lowtcenter.com. It's the place, and it's convenient, physician-monitored, self-inject treatment plan. They'll ship it directly to your home every month. You don't need to go to this center for weekly visits. So get in there, find out what's going on, get back to being your best. lowtcenter.com. Book your appointment today. lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. We come back off the weekend, party like a RothStar next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Here's a listener tweet. Are men and Bone stupid in real life? Yes. Yes, they are. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan.
Erectile dysfunction is a destroyer of your confidence, of your joy and intimacy, and often it can even harm your relationship. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, the leading men's sexual health practice in our area for treating erectile dysfunction, and I want you to know today that if you're like most men, you can be free of ED and all the impacts it has on your life. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're your local provider for dealing with men's sexual health issues. Our expert medical teams are focused on treating ED, and we have highly effective treatment plans with some protocols that work in well over 90% of cases. We can even combine treatments for greater efficacy, all of which means it's very likely you'll be having great sex again within just a day or two of your first appointment. You might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 2 convenient locations, just off 270 in Hilliard and near the Medical Mile in Westerville.
We go to war for you. If you've been a bus accident victim, don't suffer in silence. Call attorney Robert Scherger at 877-WAR-FOR-YOU for a free consultation. Know your rights and get results. Visit warforyou.com for more information. warforyou.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go.
the company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
As a local family-owned and operated company, Newman Roofing takes great pride in providing great customer experience and quality product to every job they do. From the first phone call to the end of your project, they'll know who you are. Don't just get a roof, get a Newman roof. Call 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
If you're obsessed with fantasy sports and gambling things, we have the slightly above average radio show for you. On the Money with Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas.
Presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
Wednesday night at 8 on The Fan.
Summer's greatest hits are going on now, and Macy's one-day sale has summer's greatest savings. Shop limited time specials like 40 to 60% off everything for this weekend's Backyard Bash. From the Cellar Barbecue, Henkel's, and Tupperware. 40 to 70% off fine jewelry from Effie, Levion, and more. And 30 to 55% off bras, pajamas, and more basics. Hurry in. Our one-day sale starts Tuesday at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
With Progressive Snapshot, you could save on auto insurance rates by driving safely, which is great because you're rarely rewarded for just being you. Ever get rewarded for being left-handed? No. You get to use weird scissors. Your reward for being a Capricorn? Cold birthdays that conflict with the holidays. And your reward for quickly responding to every work email? More emails. But with Snapshot, even left-handed Capricorns with proper email etiquette could get rewarded for good driving. So download the Progressive app today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in all states or from all agents.
Progressive presents 10 things on a plumber's to-do list that are harder than getting a small business insurance quote. Waking up for 5 a.m. plumbing disasters, finding out why water is pouring from the ceiling, replacing a pipe in a home from the 1800s, then dealing with invoices or your awkward apprentice or that really weird smell, and then there's breathing and eating and, of course, clogs. But the easiest thing on any small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you could save on the business insurance that's right for you. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliated and third-party insurers.
Something amazing is happening in data management. Even though storage needs are constantly changing, companies are only paying for what they need now. That's because CDW customized a Pure Storage Evergreen One SLA-driven storage-as-a-service solution that delivers enterprise-grade hybrid cloud storage that is effortless, efficient, and evergreen. Simplify storage administration with Pure Storage and CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com/purestorage.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Let's all gather into the Kiki. It's time to party like a RothStar.
Indeed it is. Fun little weekend, a lot to talk about, Ice. Wonder if we'll have one of the same this week. You want to fire away?
Go ahead and lead us off, big dog.
25-year-old kid named Benjamin Kimball Rice. Grew up outside Boston. Played collegiate summer ball in the Cape Cod League, but he was drafted by the New York Yankees. 12th round of the 21 MLB draft. He made his debut not long ago, June 18th. This past Saturday, he found himself batting leadoff for the Yanks against his hometown team. So what does he do? Well, he's the first Yankee rookie to homer 3 times in a game.
Okay.
Now, according to the Elias Sports Bureau, there have been 22 Yankees who have hit 3 homers in a game. If you had asked me that number before, like how many, I would have said a lot less. Like 3 homers in a game. So 22 have done it. But when you start thinking about Garrigan, Mantle, and Jackson and all the rest. But he's the first rookie to ever do it of those 22. So in all the Yankee history, a kid that grew up in Boston is now the first rookie to hit 3 home runs in a game for the Yanks. By the way, he's currently hitting like almost 300. So Ben Rice, party like a RothStar.
I like it. First candidate for me, I'm starting in the NBA. And I got to give a shout out to a crafty veteran by the name of DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan, this guy's been on quite the journey over the last couple of years. He spent 9 years with the Toronto Raptors. They traded him. That was a tough situation for him. Then he went down to San Antonio for 3 years, and he was in Chi-Town for 3 years and played very, very well. And he's been rewarded now this past weekend with a 3-year, $74 million contract with the Sacramento Kings. DeMar DeRozan has been one of the best crunch time players, fourth quarter players in the league the last couple years. He finished second in the 2024 Clutch Player of the Year race. And over the last 10 years, DeMar DeRozan has missed double-digit games once. This guy is always available. He's always out there on the floor. He led the league in minutes last year in his age 33-34 season. And now he's even doing it off the field because he's popping up in Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us video. DeMar DeRozan going back home to California. I'm happy for this guy. He's partying like a RothStar.
I can't believe he's going to be 35. Like,
Crazy.
That's unreal. When you said that, where he is in his age, but good for him. Getting that bag at 35.
Yeah, man.
Pretty strong. All right, I tell you what, another 25-year-old.
Okay.
Davis Thompson. He's a Georgia Bulldog. He loves double stuffed Oreos and Batman movies.
I'm mad at that.
He's also very good at golf. So he was making his 63rd career start on the PGA Tour this weekend. He's been a runner-up 3 times. This weekend at the John Deere, he changed that tune. Here's his week. 63, 67, 62, 64. Which, if my math is correct, is 28 under. That's a new tournament record at the John Deere. Here's the wild part. Aside from that, he stayed in a rental house. They're now calling it the Trophy House. Not for that reason.
I was about to say
the last, well, maybe it will turn into the Trophy House. Yes. All right. The last 3 winners of the John Deere have all rented this house.
Okay.
For their week.
It's a thing.
So he earned $1.4 million and an exemption into the Open Championship, first time in that major, and of course he'll be in next year's Masters now. Honorable mention to Hayden Springer, who had an opening round 59. Guys are just throwing out these numbers now, but the man is Davis Thompson, who sets a new tournament record at John Deere.
What was his final score again? Did you say
28 under?
That's ridiculous. That is absolutely crazy. I'm going to baseball for my second candidate. And I'm talking about a man that was born on May 29th, 2002. May have the best mustache in the game. Last name Skeens, first name Paul. Came down the other day. Paul Skeens is going to the All-Star game, and he absolutely has earned this. I don't care what anybody says. He's the first number 1 overall pick to become an All-Star a year after being drafted. He's been out there on the mound for 10 starts in Major League Baseball, and among pitchers with at least 50 innings thrown so far, Skeens ranks second in ERA, 2.12. He ranks third in strikeout rate, 33% of the time, and he's 5-0 right now in those 10 starts, and he's got 78 strikeouts over 59 and a third innings. It's always impressive to me, AR, when these big-time prospects handle the pressure so well right out of the gate. This dude's been crushing it for those Pittsburgh Pirates, but I like watching him pitch. Paul Skeens going to the All-Star game, partying like a rock star.
Yeah, hopefully people learned about him on our show, because we were tossing that name out a lot before he came up, and it's been incredible.
Yeah.
All right, so as long as I have 2 25-year-olds, let's go 25 across the board. 13 turns around Mid-Ohio this weekend. The Honda 200 is the debut. They debuted the new hybrid system of the engines at all the cars, all 27 cars. So the new hybrid system, you can actually refire that engine on board and return to the track. So the old cars, you couldn't do that. And so you can keep a race going green, because we can just, like Maddie on a wild weekend, get a little off-road, refire that engine, get right back in the race. Or me. Mexican Pato Award. He went to high school in San Antonio. Mexican Heritage got the lead with 24 laps left on Alex Palou, who had stalled in the pits. And the reason I like this is because Award gets serious redemption here. He was the one who was leading the final lap of the Indy 500 before Newgarden tracked him down and passed him with a half a mile left. He was 10-1 this week, by the way, betting Pato Award. Okay. So a semi-sleeper payday on the Indy circuit. And he won at Mid-Ohio, the beautiful track up there. So here he is, finally getting a little redemption. He had a lot of hybrid running experience back in F1. So I'll give it to Pato Award, Party like a RothStar.
I'm here for it. I like it. Last guy for me, I'm talking about a general manager in the NBA. And we got to talk about Sam Presti, the Oklahoma City Thunder general manager, because this man has been moving and shaking, and they were down in the dumps for a while. They did the definition of tanking at its finest. They bottomed out forever, got a whole bunch of picks, and now here they are turning the page into a summer to where they bring in Alex Caruso from the Bulls, one of the best 3-and-D wings in the league. You trade him straight up for Josh Giddey. You steal Isaiah Hartenstein away from the New York Knicks, their big man, who has been a huge piece of their success the last 2 years. So you're coming off a season to where you were the number 1 seed in the West. You brought in 2 really good players. You haven't had to give up any of your draft capital, and you have one of the best young cores in the league, led by an MVP candidate in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I got to give it to Sam Presti. They have to be, to me, the favorite in the West right now, and they still have so much left in the bank account to spend to get even better. Sam Presti's been cooking. Oklahoma City Thunder GM's partying like a RothStar.
All right, party in the books from this weekend. We'll come back after a SportsCenter update here at top of the hour. And when can a guy get injured, rehab, and learn a brand new talent in the process? Yes, Joseph Lee Burrow is on his own revenge tour. We'll tell you why next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Let's talk about your sleep, specifically if you're not getting enough of it. If you're feeling groggy all day because you didn't sleep well, that is an awful feeling. I've been there. And if you're snoring when you sleep, well, that could be a big reason why you aren't feeling rested. This fact surprised even me the first time I heard it, and that is, as you age, your risk of having obstructive sleep apnea nearly doubles. That's right. You need to find out if your snoring is related to sleep apnea, because if it is, there's actually help available for you right now. Dr. Mark Levy is board certified in the treatment of sleep apnea, and he offers a custom-fitted oral appliance that effectively treats sleep apnea. I have been telling you about this for years. And maybe you've been snoring for years. Now's the time to get this fixed. Plus, most Medicare patients have little to no out-of-pocket costs for this treatment. So you need to stop putting it off. Don't ignore your snore. Get your sleep apnea treated by calling Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Get the life back you deserve. Call Dr. Mark Levy today, 1-800-MORE-SLEEP, or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
The Ohio Egg Fest is back for its 10th year, presented by Specialty Gas House and Buckeye Cruise for Cancer. Join us for this big green egg grilling competition at Fortress Obetz on Saturday, July 27th. Enjoy all-you-can-eat food from 36 cook teams, live music from North to Nashville, cooking demos, giveaways, and more. Don't miss out on discounted big green egg grill packages with over $600 off retail and a lifetime warranty. Pre-order online at theohioeggfest.com today. Before they sell out, all proceeds benefit cancer research at the James. Get your discounted big green egg grills and your taster tickets now at theohioeggfest.com.
This is Paul Keels for Nature Stone Flooring, a unique blend of natural stone and their specially formulated epoxy expertly installed over existing concrete. Nature Stone is the only flooring solution for garages, basements, and indoor spaces. Family owned and operated since 1989, no other company or product can match the features, benefits, and unconditional warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor. Visit naturestone.com today and schedule your cost estimate. Act now and save up to 50% off any Nature Stone floor. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
People are going to want to see you fall when you get to the top.
3 stars, 1 season, changing history.
Cardoso for 3. Banks it in! To plan these environments, this is what we work for. We fought so hard all season long.
You could not have scripted a better ending to this magical women's college season.
Kiki Rice, Camila Cardoso, and Caitlin Clark. ESPN Plus Original presents Full Court Press, presented by State Farm. Stream now on ESPN Plus.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. How often do you compare yourself to others? It's easy to envy friends' lives on social media when you only see the good parts. But comparison is the thief of joy. Online therapy helps you focus on what you want, not what others have. Because your best life is better than the idea of someone else's. Visit betterhelp.com/Carlin today to get 10% off your first month.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Timmy Hall. It's the last month we're going to live without Buckeye football for the rest of the year. August 31st at 3:30 p.m., Buckeyes will host Akron. We know the guys Ohio State has to beat once and for all this year, though, and head coach Ryan Day was on Joel Klatt's show and wasn't too sure if Michigan's 3-year string of success is a direct result from the previous dominance by Ohio State.
I don't think that any year you're any more or less motivated. I think every year, every team is a little bit different. But, to say that those games haven't stung, of course they have. And those are bad weeks.
Could say bad years. To baseball, not a great weekend for the Reds. They get right back to it as they take on the Rockies at home at 7:10. The Guardians got a series win over the Giants, and they will play Detroit in Detroit at 6:40 tonight. This one is sponsored by Nature Stone. Schedule your free cost estimate today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
A perfect afternoon parlay. This is Rothman and Ice.
Rothman and Ice, second hour. Joe Noga covers the Guardians. Cleveland.com. We'll check in with him. I always like to kid the Mad Max and the guys at Turtle because they're huge Guards fans. And so every time I walk in to the pro shop now, I always go, Twins are coming. Twins are coming. They don't like that.
They're holding them off, though.
Oh, they are. They're
holding them off. But
absolutely.
You're right. Those Twinkies, they've been doing the darn thing. Like, they've 7-3 over their last 10. But the Guardians say, you know what? We're not worried about that.
The Cleveland Guardians are absolutely the story of the MLB this season, in my mind. Like, to me, everything else is kind of falling into place. I knew the Orioles and the Yanks would have this type of race going. I figured that the Braves and the Phillies, although the Braves are, you would say, they're 10 games over 500. They're 8 games back. That's unreal.
They've been really banged up, too, with injuries. But I think the other surprise for me would be just how good their Brewers have been. That's probably right behind the Guardians when you subtract Corbin Burns and they lose Devin Williams. But they've been absolutely rocking and rolling, and they got a pretty nice lead in the NL Central as well as, my Reds continue to just let me down. It's just, what are we doing?
Where are we with the shirt? I've lost track. We printed them. Then we boxed them.
Let's see where we're at.
Then we shipped them somewhere.
It is officially print the shirts season. Oh, that's so ridiculous. I don't know what I was doing. So the second batch of T-shirts I had for you were the wild card.
Where are those now? What country are we sending those to?
No, I still think they're available. They're still available at the Matty Ice Store shirts because we're only 5 games back.
Oh, okay.
From a wild card slot.
Even with the 3-game slide.
Yeah, like that. Right. And that one hurt me, too. Had our GM, Cody, came down. He was rubbing it in. He's a big Tigers fan.
How was he?
Detroit
because
guy.
Scooball got him yesterday?
Scooball absolutely he embarrassed us yesterday is what he did. But the Guardians, they're holding it down for the state of Ohio, so I'll live through CB right now.
So it's a fun little story. There's no question. And it may be more than just a fun little story. Like, they may be legit tough out. Now
legit to quit?
We'll see what happens where they are with the All-Star break. I like that little hammer drop for you. That was good. That made me feel good, Matty.
I got you, big dog.
So I saw a couple stories with Joe Burrow. And one is this, vengeance tour and about is this a soundbite, CB?
Yeah, credit goes to Barstool Sports as part of my take. They had him on for the show this morning, and they were asking him, and you'll hear the question in the clip, asking him if maybe fans or just people around the NFL have forgotten about Joe Burrow.
Do you think people have forgotten about Joe Burrow?
I believe that.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you get hurt, though. You don't play football, people forget about you.
Yeah, which I like the spot you're in right now because I feel like
I love the spot.
Yeah, like AFC, everyone's like, oh, well, Josh, Lamar, and Patrick, CJ Stroud. It's like, you're forgetting one guy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But, again, that's part of the game. If you're not out there and people aren't watching you, then there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give people something to talk about this year. I'm excited about it.
Hey, we can't allow Joey B to play this card.
I'm sorry.
We can't let Joe Shiesty play this card. This man has so much respect, has earned so much respect around the sport that anytime anybody...
He lost a little bit with the backless suit in Paris,
okay,
right?
Fair enough.
Lost a little bit.
I'll rock with you on that. Right. But I can't rock with Joey B on this kind of, like you said, revenge tour and people forgetting about me.
Something to talk
and
about.
I'm not getting the same respect. Like, he's always in those lists list of the top guys whenever we talk about the quarterbacks, and zooming out from that, the Bengals, because of him. He's such a large piece of that. So I understand how athletes are wired, and you're going to use anything and everything to motivate you. And if he's been, listening to shows or watching, podcasts or whatever it may be and feeling like, hey, my name hasn't been brought up that much, you're going to use that as fuel. But I think at the end of the day, everybody, when we talk about the top guys around the sport, his name is in that mix more times than not.
So this is nothing. I mean, he's fantastic, and he will be again. And I love his motivation. I think what we got a glimpse into was not him like searching for motivation, but feeling out of it, feeling on the outside looking in. I think it's normal. I think that, he left that team when they were 5-5 and saw them struggle, to get to 9-8. And honestly, it wasn't a horrible finish considering that he wasn't around, because Browning was throwing for big yards in a lot of games. But I think that's what it is. I think he feels like in his own mind, I'm forgotten because I just wasn't a part of it for weeks, and I have been injured, and I've played in a Super Bowl, and I was a drive away from pulling off something for Cincinnati history. And I just it feels like this is what happens when everyday people get injured or they're not feeling their best. They can be they can lean on the side of this stinks, or I'm depressed about it, or this is all that's consuming me. I think that's kind of what's going on in his mind, is that I'm forgotten because I've kind of felt like I'm forgotten. I know I'm not, and I'm a young guy. I'm 27. I've got my career, but I've got some hurdles now that I didn't anticipate. The other part about it, and which to me is even more of a fun part of the story, and I don't know how good he's getting at this, because I feel like I've missed my window on this. Part of his wrist rehab.
I like that. Maybe we roll with that.
Wrist tab. Part of his wrist tab, he learned to play the piano.
Oh.
Like
okay.
that's a special person right there that used the wrist tab to play the piano. It says he took up the piano this offseason and discovered that it is making his wrist healthier.
Okay. Whatever it takes.
Tickling the ivories.
Whatever it takes, man. That's a card that I think can play well when you're a single guy, no matter where you are.
I mean,
especially when you got the bank account he has already.
What else? I mean, what other talents can this guy have?
He's a model. He's a quarterback. He's worth $55 million a year. And now he can play the piano. It's an amazing
piano been a long interest of his, but the injury was what pushed him to do something that would be fun while also forcing him to make sure he had his mobility back in his hand and wrist. That's amazing. I would love to ask him, and maybe he's already answered this in interviews, like, who lit the fuse on that? Did you say to your rehab specialist, hey, by the way, this motion, I've always wanted to play the piano. Would that be good or bad for me? Or did the conversation come up? Yeah, you should try that. It might help you.
I would love to know that answer too. And then you start to play the piano. If anybody tries it, you can treat him like Denzel treated the guy in American Gangster. And just beat somebody up with a piano.
He didn't use a coaster. That's really it. He did a lot more in that scene.
He really did.
Yeah.
He was going crazy in that scene right there. But the injury.
Actually, he wasn't the one that didn't use the coaster. He was the one kind of hitting on the other guy.
Blot that blank?
I think.
That's not that scene?
Did that happen when the fight happened?
I don't know. I don't remember. But
one guy shot the other guy in the leg for hitting on his girl in the house there during the party. That may have been a little blood splattering onto the alpaca, but I think that's what made Denzel go over there in the first place and then fine-tune his piano.
Well, I'm saying, if you have a party at your house, Joey B, and somebody
piano tuning guy
spills, a Jack and Coke on the floor, you can handle them because you know your way around a piano now. But the injury stuff is concerning. It has to be at this point because we've talked about a few seasons here now where things have popped up. We had a significant injury a couple years ago. You go back to last year, and he's breaking away from the pocket, and you have a lower extremity injury. That leads to a wrist injury, which a lot of the conversation around the wrist this offseason that's been such a gray area for Joey B and the Bengals to figure it out because there hasn't been a lot of history with quarterbacks dealing with that specific injuries. So they've invested a ton in the offensive line the last couple of years, and they did it again in the draft this season. They did it in free agency the last couple of years, spent a big bag on Orlando Brown Jr. So, and those guys coming in, especially Mims, I mean, you're talking about guys 6'7", 6'8", doing just giants of men. So hopefully that will pan out, because when that guy and those weapons are available every single week, they're going to wear defenses out. And Zach Taylor's going to put your defense in space and allow Higgins and Chase to be the superstar athletes that they are. But more importantly, the trigger man is one of the best in the sport when it comes to accuracy and touch and all of those things. So I'm glad that he's identifying that. He knows it. We all know it, that his availability has been in doubt too many times, and it's really held this Bengals team back within this window of time that you have, maybe accomplishing the ultimate goal. Because even when we turn the page to next year, it feels like T. Higgins will no longer be a Bengal. So when you start to flip the pages year after year and you don't check that box when you feel like you have a Super Bowl winning team, nothing is promised. And the AFC seems like there's plenty of runway for a lot of teams when it comes to their quarterbacks and the teams that they have. So this is a massive year for this franchise to really show what they're about.
Yeah, listen, I think it's real. I think his list of injuries is growing, but he's, as he says, built to handle it. He's tough. He's got great mental makeup. There's nobody thinks he doesn't think anybody's better than him. He's got the proof to back that up by going into Kansas City and winning some games. He's got a pretty good list of injuries. You go back to the grade 3 tear in the ACL, MCL, PCL. He's missed, some of the rookie season because of that. You start getting into the wrist and the pinky and everything else. It's one of those things that, but he's been through this. He had
Unfortunately.
He had it here at Ohio State briefly, with the hand and the torn rib cartilage. So at LSU. So unfortunately, he's that guy, but it sounds like he's like, I don't want to put Joe Burrow into this. Who would ever know this? Like prone to injury, because when you start thinking of it, he plays it really tough, but he plays quarterback, man. He's a tough guy. He's going to try to get extra yards. He's going to step up in the pocket. He's going to follow through. He's going to maybe hit his hand on a helmet. It happens. You don't want to ever put that on a guy, and I don't think it is. He had the freak, the real tough part, stepping up in the pocket and getting blown up there when he planted that leg years ago. But it feels like if you're a Bengal fan, you don't want to get caught up at, what's going to be next? But that's human nature to start feeling like, we got to keep him upright. He's the key to everything. Now, that's the key to every big-time quarterback in the NFL. But
especially
start
their
stacking
offense.
them, yeah.
Especially their offense when their bread and butter is the passing
Correct.
game, right?
They're not handing to Mixon anymore.
There you go. You have like a complementary run game to help out your elite passing game, and that's going to be another question mark. You can't wait to see. Is it Chase Brown? Is it Zach Moss? How that reveals itself. But those guys are probably be running in the light boxes more times than not, because defenses are going to be scared to death of the aerial attack. But you look at their schedule, and they've got that banger of a game in week 2 on the road in Kansas City, and that's going to be awesome to watch. But around that, you're talking about a New England team right out of the gate with uncertainty at quarterback. Washington in week 3 at home with a rookie quarterback. You go down to Carolina the following week with Bryce Young and a new rookie head coach. Then it's Baltimore at home, which will be a lot of fun. And then you follow that game going into New York against a team that I don't think anybody believes is going to be very good. So you're talking about those first 5 to 6 weeks for the Bengals to where if they can, I think they can really make up some good ground with a record and in the AFC with some critical games against Kansas City and Baltimore.
So you brought up a good point about a team that relies on the pass, and I'll back that up and I'll kind of combine that for you. The Cincinnati Bengals, by average, are the second worst running team in the NFL. That's, when you think about the NFL, I know we're in a passing league, but the fact that the 3 other teams in their division, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, are all in the upper 15, top 15 or top 13 in this league and running the football, they're miles behind them. They make it up by having that quarterback in that passing game.
Through there,
but to win the Super Bowl and try to be complimentary, like I have to go back and look at Sieg. It might be a pretty good exercise for us in the coming days to see who are the most complimentary teams in the NFL that run and pass at a top 10 average or top 15 average every year. But I will tell you this. The Bengals, I just looked up they rush for less than 90 yards a game, and that puts them second to last. The best team in the league is your team, 157 yards a game.
I don't mind the lack of I would love to know because that number is
I can give you the average per rush if you want.
I don't get too caught up in that area because I would love to know, like, how efficient are they in short yardage, down and distance, moving the chains when you need them? Like, I understand what you're saying, that you probably want more, but 3rd and 2s, 4th and 1s, how good have they been there? Because if you start doing that well, then I think your offense is okay with how good your passing attack can be.
Absolutely. I mean, not all runs are created equal. I agree with you. If you're converting in the right ones, that's fine. Everyone's going to get stuffed every now and then. But they're a team to be that good and to be that bad in that category.
You want more balance.
Seems a little bit off because the teams the teams that are in that little party with them, that get to go to that party, Washington, New England, Tampa, the Raiders, my Vikes, teams that aren't
making a ton of noise.
Super Bowl contenders. All right, we will come back. And speaking of former great players, a former great Buckeye is on a free agent list, Maddie. Is he worth it? We'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We're your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah? The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hi, it's me, Little Bob from Bob's Discount Furniture. I know, you don't know me yet, but I'm here to let you know that I'm opening up a brand new store in your area, located at Taylor Square in Reynoldsburg, bringing even more of my everyday low prices to the people of Ohio. And if you can't wait, MyBobs.com is the quickest and easiest way to get unbeatable furniture prices delivered straight to your home today. That's my brand new Bob's Discount Furniture, coming to Reynoldsburg this summer.
Get Bob's Discount!
Attention, boating enthusiasts. Bennington Factory demonstration models are at Buckeye Lake Marina. These exclusive demo units are loaded with the features built to dazzle at shows and exhibits. And guess what? They're all brand new with a full warranty. Some have never even touched the water. Hold on to your mooring ropes because we're offering dock shaking discounts up to $40,000 only at Buckeye Lake Marina. These deals are hotter than the summer sun and won't last long. Visit Buckeye Lake Marina and make your dream boat a reality today. BuckeyeLakeMarina.com, where your adventure begins.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spending the money to replace our home's windows is rarely something we get excited about. We usually do it because our energy bills suck or our current windows, well, they're too messed up. But in working with the local Pella Columbus team, my eyes have been opened. New windows can legitimately change the entire look of your home. They've got windows and colors and styles like I've never seen, and they can change everything. So go see my friends at PellaColumbus.com or check them out at their brand new Polaris showroom.
The best of rivals, the best of two leagues meet again this summer. MLS versus Liga MX face off in the 2024 MLS All-Star, starting Sunday, July 21st. After a weekend of soccer celebrations, MLS All-Star Skills Challenge presented by AT&T will come to Lower.com Field on Tuesday, July 23rd, featuring MLS All-Stars versus Liga MX All-Stars as they show off the best of their skills. The two teams will match up once more at the 2024 MLS All-Star Game, presented by Target on Wednesday, July 24th. For more information on tickets and events, visit MLSsoccer.com/All-Star.
Want to see some football players try to play softball? Join us for Schmidt's Cardell Jones charity softball game.
Why picnic when you can schmidnick? And presented by Monogram Homes and the U.S. Air Force. The Fan.
Spectrum delivers with fast and reliable internet. And with Spectrum One, you get even more. Spectrum Internet, so you can work, game, and stream with speeds up to a gig. Plus advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced security and one Spectrum Mobile unlimited line, both free for 12 months. Internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and mobile. Get it all together with Spectrum One, starting at just $49.99 a month. Visit Spectrum.com for full details. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Restrictions apply.
Save big money now on pre-finished siding at Menards. Update and beautify your home with your choice of 13 timeless colors of pre-finished LP Smart Side engineered siding. It's durable and includes a Sherwin-Williams machine-applied paint warranty. That means no painting for years to come. View our entire selection of siding from LP Smart Side at Menards. #1 in customer satisfaction among home improvement retailers according to J.D. Power. For more information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Save big money at Menards.
I've always wanted 3 kids. I came from a family of 3 kids, and I started picturing having 3 car seats in the back of my truck.
That's Megan, Wisconsin native, working mom of 2, and lifelong conservative. Megan never thought she would get an abortion until a diagnosis late in her pregnancy changed everything.
Doctors told us our baby had no chance to survive. And because of Wisconsin's abortion ban, I would be forced to carry my baby for months. knowing he would die. It felt like a bad dream. It felt like a bad dream.
To get the care she needed, Megan had to leave the state. And now if senators in Washington pass a national abortion ban, families like Megan's will have nowhere to turn.
These decisions should be made privately amongst women and their families. And government should have no say in that. No senator in Washington should support a national abortion ban.
Paid for by Free and Just. Visit freeandjust.us to learn more.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, lots of sunshine, high 93. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 70. Tomorrow, look for increasing clouds, along with a late day shower or thunderstorm, high 89. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your Doppler 10 forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice, the #1 rated midday show in Columbus.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right. This is a name that dominated the sport at his position for a very brief time. He's not old by any means. He's 31. He's had injuries. Toe, ankle. Doesn't sound like much, but there was a lot of, how would I say, controversy around, do you have the surgery? Do you not have it? He was talking to rehab guy or people and, the experts saying, wait a minute, if you rehab this, it might heal differently. You don't have to go under the knife. There was some pressure to do it based on how much you're getting paid, who you are, what you mean, and then the team. And if you haven't guessed in this little name that player game I'm playing with my, on the show here, Michael Thomas. Like, Michael Thomas is a name that was that good.
Yeah.
That good.
He was that
104. He followed up a 125 catch season in 2018 with 149. 149.
And 1,700 plus yards in that season AR's talking about, where he racked up 149 catches.
And it seems like he would catch anything you threw at him.
Yeah.
Like, he was that guy. Very competitive, too, and all that. And then we get here. And where are we? He's a man without a team. He made a lot of money, right? Signed a $100 million extension, I think, almost, when he was 26. So right after...
that monster year.
Right after that 149 catch season.
Yeah.
He was Offensive Player of the Year. He was going back to the Pro Bowl. He was an All-Pro. And then things got weird. And I don't know whether it was the injuries that led to the weirdness or signing the extension changed the motivation of it. I don't know. But when he got in that fight with C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and then they had to suspend him, and there was a punch. I have to go back and look at the story. And then he snapped at Sean Payton, and then they had problems. Mm-hmm. And so his return got delayed, and he really got sidetracked, for the lack of a better word. Now, he will tell you, and you'd have to believe him, that he was never healthy, that he was trying to get back. He was trying to help his team. Maybe the frustration with not getting back, having a setback, all that. And he got labeled. Bad guy, bad dude, not a team guy. And part of it was the team, and I'm not saying who's right or wrong here, but he was expected to have a surgery at the end of that season on those ligaments in his ankle. And he didn't get the surgery until late in the summer, I think. Did he? He did get the surgery, right? I think he did.
I'm pretty sure he did. And I think, AR, if I'm remembering correctly, Sean Payton made some public statements about the timing of that surgery.
Correct.
And was not too happy about it.
That's right. He did a kind of a soft, like, we think it should have been done by now. Why isn't it done?
Yeah.
Michael took that as, stop damaging my rep in public. Stop doing that, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not out here talking about you publicly. And so this is what happens. And I don't know what the answer is because, like I said in the very beginning, extremely talented, injuries, can't do my job, made a lot of money, want to get back, being accused, labeled, fight with players, barking back at my head coach, being insubordinate. Like, there were times where he just got lost, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't know where he is in his career right now.
Yeah, man. It's kind of the definition of out of sight, out of mind for a long time because
he could use it. Burrow, give it to him.
Right.
He's allowed
Absolutely.
to use.
No, that's totally fair because you come out of that season that you highlighted, right, where it's 149 catches, 1,700 yards, 9 touchdowns. Year before that also caught 9 touchdowns. You got to that 2020 season. We know how funky that was for everybody. But since 2020, the game log is, 7 games in 2020. Did not play the entire year in 21. And then in 2022 and 2023, it's 3 games and 10 games. And he got out of the gate cooking, man. And not only that, it was the confidence that a Hall of Fame quarterback, Drew Brees, had in him right away. Those first 4 years down in New Orleans, you're talking a $121 targets, 149, 147, and 185. Drew Brees absolutely loved Michael Thomas, and rightfully so, because when he was rolling, he looked like he was one of the best wide receivers in the sport. So now here we are, and you brought up the question, what's left? How much juice is left in the tank? How much tread are left on the tires of Michael Thomas? He's going to find a home somewhere, and Vegas threw out some odds of where he could land next, potentially. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking over the next week or two that some news pops up with him, with some of these veteran players that are still available finding a home, because training camps around the NFL start next week, by the way. Yeah, NFL season's here. Big Brother and training camp starts next week.
Yeah, I can't get as psyched about training camp as you are right now.
Love training camp, man.
Really. I mean, I guess there's something to it.
You just like kicking the can down the road. So this is on brand for my guy over here. It's on brand.
No, I'll kick it down the road till August.
August 1.
Hall of Fame weekend. The little nuggets of information about guys you like in fantasy. Maybe they're performing well in camp so far.
I love it. I love just hearing from the players and hearing from the coaches and just getting into the grind with them. But for Michael Thomas, Vegas has their eyes on a few teams.
All right.
And the leader in the clubhouse is the Dallas Cowboys at 3-1. Following them, before you react, I got the Buffalo Bills at 5-1 for you, the Baltimore Ravens at 6-1, and then the Denver Broncos at 8-1, which after what we just said with he and Sean Payton would be a bit of a surprise to me. No. But just based off of any of those teams, do you like?
Massive surprise, by the way, in that one. Here's the problem. You could throw out any team, and I just can't get past the, how am I going to pay this guy? What will he demand? And if he will come in, whatever on the cheap means, that'd be the only way I could entertain it. Because he is the definition of that I be paying you for past results. I have no idea what I'm going to get out of you. I have no idea your health.
Yeah.
And I have no idea where you are in your career. So if you're telling me that's a massive risk.
I don't know.
You don't think?
I don't think he's banging the table. You can't bang the table for much right now if you're him. You can't.
You got to go to a team. Name those teams again, because I want to try to find a desperate team.
Cowboys are the leader in the clubhouse.
They're not desperate.
Well,
they're really not. Not at that position.
They're kind of Super Bowl or bust vibes for them. Dak, maybe. And
Super Bowl or bust is, I guess, my version of desperation is that we are not good.
We don't have anybody.
We need, yes.
But see, I think for him, it'd be better for him to be a complementary piece to a good team. And so that's why I do like Dallas.
Would you put him with a young quarterback to help a young quarterback, or would that be more risky?
I think, leadership around. Not that Michael Thomas can't be his own, but I think I want him around a veteran team.
See, to me, if he still has talent and he's presumably healthy, then I could put him around a young quarterback to get more out of my young quarterback.
But here's
than the other way around.
Here's the thing, real quick.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas is probably thinking, I can get to another bag in my career. I don't know if I'm getting there attached to a young quarterback.
You will if it's a desperate team.
Who's this desperate team then?
I don't know. Carolina, somebody that's right.
I think I'd rather play with Dak, Josh, or Lamar.
No,
if I'm Michael Thomas.
He would rather. But if it comes down to a desperate team might pay him more because we have a young quarterback and we need to tap into this guy and make sure, because the quarterback's the most important position. This guy's 31 with an injury history. And true or not, that bad guy label. Like, where is he? So I don't know. If he's a bargain, I'm all over it.
Okay.
But I don't know what that is. I'm just...
Got to ask Shefty about him on Wednesday. Remind me. We got to ask Shefty about Michael Thomas.
It will be. We talked about the Guardians being perhaps the best story of MLB. We'll see what Joe Noga has to say. Does he have any concerns about this team getting all the way to the finish line? He's up next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
When it comes to protecting your business, whether it's your staff, property, or assets, don't make a crucial mistake by contracting companies that provide subpar and unprofessional service. What you need is a security partner known for their unwavering professionalism and unmatched reliability. You need Event Risk. Event Risk is a U.S.-based, veteran-owned company that not only specializes in on-site guarding, but also offers armed security associates and executive protection agents. Event Risk, elite protection for your peace of mind.
Hello, my name is Eric Rose, CEO and founder of Event Risk Security Services. We are a U.S.-based, veteran-owned company providing protection services and consulting to Fortune 500 corporations, movie studios, celebrities, and high-net-worth individuals. If you're tired of fluff margins with low compensation for poor quality security officers and the endless revolving door of vendor staffing, then give us a try. For virtually the same cost, we can then address what keeps you up at night.
Visit EventRiskInc.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. We have all heard the horror stories of someone knocking on the door to offer a free roof inspection, only to go up and illegally create damage to the roof in hopes of trying to push through a new roof to the insurance company. Rather than having to deal with going through the process of filing claims for vandalism, call a company that you can trust. That company is Newman Roofing. They've been working in the community for 32 years. They did my roof. They came to the house. I could trust them with my kids, with my wife, with my family, and they have built a reputation of honesty and integrity. They'll be honest with you on whether or not you need a new roof, whether it's sustained damage in recent storms, and whether there's still life left in it. They'll educate you so you understand what is happening with your roof and answer any questions like they did for me and my family. So whether you need a roof repair or replacement, call the most trusted company in Ohio. Call Newman Roofing at 614-NEW-ROOF or NewmanRoofing.com.
Morning Juice.
He just gave you the icing. He just gave you the dessert at the end. He didn't tell you what you got to eat along the way, eating those turd sandwiches every day for breakfast.
Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Affinity Whole Health.
Weekday mornings at 6. The Fan.
I can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Lowe's knows owning a project means owning the right tools. And during Craftsman Days, you can save big on what you need from a brand you trust. Get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, get your choice of the V20 string trimmer or leaf blower for only $99. Find these savings and more today. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/10 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as, bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
They're Live golf team name is Ice Dogs. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, Guardians taking the MLB by storm. Let's hope that continues. They're sending a Fab Five to the All-Star game. Joe Noga is with us, covers the Guards for Cleveland.com. It's been too long. Joe, welcome back.
Hey, guys. Great to be on.
I love this story of David Fry. How can you not love it? Because whenever a guy is the, quote, player to be named, when he's the, you got it still? All right. You still there with us, Joe? Did I lose you? I think I lost him, CB. I can hear, he can't hear me.
Technology.
I could hear him.
Technology.
In the car.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. I mean, this Fab Five that they've been, it's been pretty eye-opening to see. Like, I don't know if anybody had crazy expectations for the division that they've been in, but the Guardians and their ability to be right there and have, the best record in all of baseball throughout a couple weeks, they've been so consistent. They have not stopped with their positive momentum. It's fun.
All right, I think Joe's back. Well, you got us now, Joe?
Yeah, I hear you guys.
All right. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem.
I love this David Fry story because when you're the player to be named later and then you turn into an all-star, it's incredible. How did we get here? I know he spent time with us here in Columbus. Was hitting pretty well here and then came up to the big club, and now all of a sudden he's an all-star. I mean, this is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a story about the power of saying yes, being open to playing anywhere or doing anything to take advantage of an opportunity. And when the Guardians said, hey, can you play left field? Can you play first base? Can you play third base? David Fry said yes. And then he went, and in the off season, he worked on being a catcher and refining all the skills and all the things that you need to do on a daily basis to be part of that catching group. And he excelled there, and that allowed Stephen Vogt to use him in the way that they had projected and hoped to be able to do that, move him around the diamond, make switches late in games to get advantageous matchups at the plate in terms of pinch hitting and moving other guys around. And that's what has earned David Fry the playing time and the at-bats, and now he's out there proving why he's the guy who can be on the American League All-Star team, just killing left-handed pitching.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I want to ask you about Stephen Vogt because Terry Francona, Tito just seemed to be this lovable guy, but more importantly, just a heck of a manager. But he obviously now has moved on to other things. And here comes Stephen as a rookie manager, kind of fresh off of playing, and he's got this team with this amazing record. Joe, talk about some of the things you've seen him do as a manager that's helped these guys get to where they are right here before the break.
Well, I think as much as Terry Francona was a lovable guy, Stephen Vogt's pretty lovable too. And it's interesting you use that word love. That's what Stephen Vogt keeps mentioning over and over again. When he refers to the guys in the clubhouse, he says, these guys love each other. They play for each other. They don't just play for their own stats and their own sort of recognition. They have good at-bats to pass it on to the next guy behind them, and they all pull on the rope in the same direction. Stephen Vogt has allowed this team to sort of play with that kind of love. And, when you feel comfortable enough with your manager that you can go out there and just love on the guys next to you, this is what happens. You get a team that, it doesn't have a roster full of superstars, but it's got enough guys believing in the right things that they're heading in the right direction.
It feels like a little bit of this season kind of flip-flopped on us when it comes to analyzing before the season, Joe. I thought, here the pitching, you feel like that's going to be dangerous and less threatening would have been their opening day lineup. And, this team had 124 home runs last season. Mm-hmm. They have 103 now. Only the Pirates hit fewer bombs than they did, or that they have since 2021. So the perception of this team now is what? What is their identity?
I think they're a team that will not quit playing, even if they fall behind early, even if that starting pitching, is suspect early. They're a team that will keep coming at you, and that's the identity of this team, that they will keep coming at you even late in games. We saw Bo Naylor come up with a pinch hit home run in the 6th inning yesterday, and then you turn it over to a bullpen that if you're not in front late in the game, if the Guardians have a lead late, it's pretty much over because you hand the ball to Cade Smith, Hunter Gaddis, and Emmanuel Clase, and you can just pretty much put this one on the board.
Joe, you know how the game works when it comes to great players, and I think it's unfortunate, right? You kind of become numb to greatness, and I'm talking about Jose Ramirez. Just watching this guy do his thing every single night, to you, what makes him such an elite player in Major League Baseball?
I mean, these guys talk about how Jose Ramirez is the same guy that he was 10 years ago when he came up in terms of the effort and the energy and the instincts. Stephen Kwan was just mentioning that the other day. You look at Jose and you see the face changes, the uniform changes, the looks change, but the effort and the energy is always still there. When they were looking back over his 10-year Major League Service highlight video that they showed in the clubhouse the other day, I think what separates Jose from a lot of the superstars in the league right now is he knows that he's the guy right now. He knows that in the organization, he's got guys at every level looking up to him, modeling his behavior, and he doesn't, deviate from his plans or anything like that. The talent is always going to be there. The effort and the hustle and the energy is what separates Jose Ramirez from your average superstar.
Joe, what would keep them from not running through the tape here at the end of the regular season, not winning the division? What keeps them from that?
Disastrous pitching injuries, I think, might be the only thing that would keep it. But I think they've done enough right now, or they're in the process of doing enough to acquire sort of insurance policies, arms that they can maybe try and throw in there. And by sending Logan Allen and Tristan McKenzie down to Columbus, where they're going to be tasked with, getting back on track and refining their deliveries, I think that's going to help. Signing Matt Boyd to eventually come on and help at some point in August is an insurance policy against not being able to land the big blow at the trade deadline and maybe acquire a number one starter at some point here before the beginning of August.
Incredible season. It has to be a lot of fun for you. 56 up, 32 down, and they are 6 games up on the Twins right now. Joe, great job, man. Always enjoy your insight. We'll talk again soon.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Joe Noga, Cleveland.com, covering the Guardians. And they've got the Tigers now at Detroit for 4, and then at Tampa for 3 to kind of run this string into the All-Star game.
Real quick, AR, you mentioned the home runs. I mean, a guy like Stephen Kwan's really ramping it up in that category, and that's cool to see. Like, it's not crazy right now, but he's already got 9 home runs. The 2 years before that, it was 6 home runs and 5. So not only are you getting the consistent stuff from him, but he's putting the ball in the stands, too.
Name their 5 All-Star guys for me again.
We got David Fry, Stephen Kwan, Jose Ramirez, Josh Naylor, and is it Clase? I'm going to assume it's Clase. Am I wrong in saying that? Yeah, I believe that's the 5.
So no Gaddis, no Bybee, no. All right. I mean, they got 5. I'm not going awesome. Crazy, but
awesome.
I feel like, we kind of thought that Kwan would be the next first-time All-Star. Like, we felt like that was in there. Yeah. I thought Bybee certainly had a chance as well. All right. Guys, talking to you about low T. And if you're often feeling tired, you lack motivation and drive, you gained some weight, you've noticed a lack of muscle mass, could be signs of low T. Don't wait. Find out. At Low T Center, they're going to make it easy. You'll get your levels checked, simple blood test, on-site lab, 25 minutes, and you're going to have the answers to what you've been curious about. You're a guy, you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s for sure, and you're feeling the way I've described, then you're curious. You want to know where you land on that chart because it might be the answer to your questions. Low T Center, not a typical doctor's office. You're not going to wait a long time. Their physicians specialize in this, treating low testosterone. They'll customize a treatment for you if you need it. And they have over a decade of experience helping patients, life-changing results. Most health insurance is accepted for treatment. They'll verify that for you. So for established patients with stable T levels, they'll offer the convenient treatment plan, physician-monitored, self-inject, that can ship right to your home without the need to go to the center for weekly visits. But right now, you've got to get after it. Your BMI and health can also be evaluated for treatment with prescription weight loss medication. They've got it all for you guys. So get back to your best. Go to lowtcenter.com. Book that appointment today. lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care. Buckeye Bulletin up next. Ryan Day was more than fine with stepping aside in this category. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
The only show where sports talk is eclipsed by food talk. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan.
You're not going to want to miss this. Diamonds Direct summer sale starts next weekend. For 3 days only, next Friday through Sunday, get 20% off. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale, too. 20% off starts next Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Right now at Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down. And I mean everything. Top-tier equipment? Check. 24-hour access? You bet. Free fitness training? Always. Workouts in the free PF app? What'd I tell you? Even super friendly team members.
Hey, welcome to Planet Fitness.
Oh, hey. I was just mentioning you.
Hey.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th. See Home Club for details.
Hey, it's Chops. After my initial consultation with Awaken 180 Weight Loss, I had one thought in mind. I could do this. After my first week losing 7 pounds, I thought, I'm doing this. Every week, I found myself sticking to my plan and continuing to lose weight. Why? Because Awaken 180 is doable, a simple term with a whole lot of meaning. If you've tried to lose weight in the past, you know what I mean. Either it was too time-consuming, too confusing, or maybe you weren't eating enough. All valid reasons, all of which are put to bed with Awaken 180. By now, you probably know someone who's lost weight with Awaken 180. Ask them. I'd bet one of their first things they would say is the program is doable. Maybe their word would be easy or realistic, but they all mean doable just the same. If your goal is to lose weight and you want a program that makes sense, do what I did and call Awaken 180 Weight Loss. 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800. Or reserve your consultation online at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
The Buckeye Show.
We finally found our CJ Stroud rookie card. The CJ rookie cards are going like crazy.
He's single-handedly saved Panini's football products for 2023.
The Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by CareSource.
Weeknights at 6 on The Fan.
Contractors, builders, apartment managers, listen up. There's a new cabinet company in town, Choice Cabinet. Over 60,000 in-stock cabinets ready for you. They want your business. Call them 216-378-9313 or online at choicecabinet.com.
Come play Skyline's 75th Coney Hunt game. Use your phone to search for virtual conies, tap to collect coins, and redeem them for exclusive Skyline merchandise at participating Skyline restaurants for a limited time. Details at skylinechili.com/Coney Hunt.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar.
See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Temps are heating up, and so are the ticket deals this summer with Vivid Seats. Whether it's scoring tickets for a night out at the ballpark or witnessing the rising stars of women's basketball, Vivid Seats has you covered. With a robust rewards program and wide selection of tickets, Vivid Seats makes it easy to score great deals on great seats with a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you the peace of mind for the ultimate fan experience. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See? We didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Feeling the heat? Call the experts at Logan Services now for hot deals on train systems, including 0% APR for 60 months.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. This will get Ohio State fans pretty excited. If you haven't heard already, they landed Riley Pettijohn, who's the big-time linebacker. This will be for the 2025 class. He was top 50 in ESPN's 300, and he is a guy that shows Ohio State over some big-time programs, as you can imagine. So 6'2", 200 pounds, very athletic. Obviously, to play at Ohio State, you need to be great, and he is, projected to be the next great one. We will see. He is from Texas. He's going into a senior season there. Also is a track and field guy, and his dad played D-line at Syracuse, and so they just keep coming, and it's a big one. And so their number one ranked class, Maddie, is now up to 22 verbals. And so you get on defense, you got a pair of cornerbacks that are right there, tops in the nation. You get a D-end who's top 5, or a couple guys are in the top 10, and now you land this linebacker.
No doubt about it. And, you got Tavian St. Clair in there as well, big-time quarterback. So that 2025 class is just, it's off the chain right now on paper. So obviously you want to get these guys to the finish line and get them in your own building, and then away you go, because you know how the recruiting game can get weird every once in a while. But this is a big time win for Coach Laurinaitis. We saw him in here, last couple weeks doing some shows with Mike and doing a show with Uncle Bo, and this is a guy that I think you and I have always believed in will go out there and kill it and be a guy that can show that not only can I get the guys right that are already in-house, but I can continue to help this program in the recruiting trail by landing big-time players like this. So, yeah, between the hype around this year's team that we're going to watch on Saturdays and what's to come in the next couple of years based off of this recruiting class, the brand has a nice little shine to it. It'll become even shinier if they can check some of the big boxes and the rivalry game and hopefully winning a national championship. But as far as the appeal to some of these recruits around the country, whether it's the history, the NIL stuff, the coaching staff, whatever it may be, that brand of Ohio State is still strong and still showing that it's a Mount Rushmore program around college football.
It was time to get even more serious than they already are about football and not feel like it's some sort of birthright that you always get the talented guys or that you're supposed to win all the time. Like there had to be a reset on that at a certain level, and that's where they are. The other thing is, don't leave it up to this class. Don't let them right the wrongs. Like, if you're on this team, that's all good. And if you're going to be around next year, even better. But the fact remains that, and I was joking with you guys before the show, it's like, this is back-to-back titles on paper. Like, it's all on paper. And it's very much paper. And so, if they have the talent now, if you believe all these stars and everything that's been assembled, that they'll have what it takes. But we had Andy Backstrom on earlier, who covers the team, and there are some things, some unknowns. The O-line, the quarterback position, and how good will they be when it counts. All that stuff. It's a long journey, expanded playoff. You get your get-out-of-jail-free card this year, maybe even 2 if you need it, to recircle the wagons, but that's pretty big news on where they've come from being a school that you would expect that would get all the top prospects that they want to now competing for them among schools that maybe they didn't normally have to because of where we are in the landscape of college football. But very cool that they could come off three straight losses to Michigan and feel like that the program is as coveted as ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. We also have, you mentioned, we have another offense. We have an offensive tackle, David Sanders Jr., who includes Ohio State in his Final Four. That's going to be next month, CB?
Yeah, this is a pretty crucial, I would say, commitment date for Mr. Justin Fry. David Sanders Jr., the number 1 tackle in the 2025 class, will be committing on August 17th. So I believe that's, 2 Saturdays before the first game?
Mathing on that. So big day there. You
guys have the countdown.
Oh, it's on.
You guys should know.
CB and I said before we walked out, like, football season's here. Like, between the EA Sports trailer dropping, training camps next week, Big Brother stuff, like, it's here for us. Well, let's pay off on the tease. You had some sound you wanted to spin, right? Coach Day.
Absolutely.
Talking about maybe handing over some of the play calling duties to his guy, Chip Kelly.
One of the other challenges at Ohio State is you're constantly chasing this 1 or 2%, in the last couple of years, it's been a drive or it's been a play. And you got to identify the things that are working really well and enhance those. But then, identifying and being accurate about the things that you need to improve, and then being self-aware enough to make those decisions. And I think as you move up, you got to give up, and that wasn't easy for me. But I feel like the time is right now. With the transfer portal, with NIL, there's more and more energy and time that needs to be focused on the players and in those areas. And I also think that it's going to allow me the opportunity to be more present with the team, especially later in the season. And so, that was one of the decisions that were made. But I think that's the thing that you're trying to go from really, really good to absolutely great. And I saw a great interview with Coach K. And he said the difference between my great teams and championship teams almost always came down to one play. And I was like, ooh, that hit me like right between the eyes. Because that's kind of how it's been the last couple of years. And so, but to get back to your question, I think that was the reason I came to that.
So they had the luxury to do it. And I'm glad he tapped into that luxury. I'm glad he had some self-reflection on where he could be more aware, more present, more overall game planning, anything he wants to address. If he's handing off play calling to a guy that he trusts, then we got to see. Now the results will be, the proof of the pudding is in that as well. We got to see it. But not many schools with a quarterback guru type guy like Ryan Day and a guy that they're paying that much money to could go to his AD and say, I got to have a $2 million guy to call plays. Like, that's a luxury that most schools don't have. And it's where Ohio State is right now, because a lot of ADs would say, wait a minute, we're paying you that money because you're the brain. You're going to need to do that. But they have the luxury to do it. Now they got a really good one. And so if he's getting paid $2 million to call plays and Ryan Day gets paid $9-10 million to not call plays, if it works, then everybody's happy.
It still is offense, though, right?
Absolutely.
It's still his brainchild, if you will.
Yeah,
but
the overall game planning.
No
absolutely.
question. And so, it was just weird how we got to this point. Bill O'Brien's the guy for a little bit. He leaves to go be the head coach at Boston College. But now you have not only what I think can be a really good play caller in Chip Kelly, but the marriage between Coach Day and Chip Kelly. They're going to share the same vision. Chip Kelly, he's been calling plays since 1999. He's a seasoned vet. They know what they want out of each other, and I think he's going to provide some good moments for the offense this year as a guy, calling plays off the menu.
Yep. That is your Buckeye Bulletin for today. All right. We will get back into it. We'll talk a little bit about some fantasy, because you and I love talking about that. The reality on this show, Maddie, is that we are addicted to fantasy.
Darn right.
As weird as that sounds. And an incredible win for an American at Wimbledon. We'll update that next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Is arthritic joint pain keeping you from doing the things that you love? Bone-on-bone pain in your knee? Arthritic pain like I was having in my knee? Maybe your hip, your back, your shoulder? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Listen, there are exciting new cellular therapies that you can get lasting relief from. QC Kinetics is helping patients like you every day here in Columbus, led by Dr. Ray Tesner. I'm talking about cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. Listen, my dad was having knee pain. I was having knee pain. So we went over to QC Kinetics, and they were able to help us out. And 2 years out, I'm still feeling good. My dad can still move around. So learn how QC Kinetics can treat pain and enhance your joints and restore your mobility and give you long-term lasting relief with no downtime. So check them out. Go to 380-208-4544 or head to one of their offices in Dublin, Gahanna, or now the new one that's most recently opened in Grove City.
Okay, so that's the final price. Oh, an extra fee to drive here. Is that it? A knock on the door fee. So is that the final price? A 15% Wednesday surcharge. What for? Oh, because it's Wednesday. Of course. Can I get back to you on this?
Apex Pros, the pros who knows.
This quote you gave me, are there any other charges I don't know about?
Other charges?
Like an it's too sunny fee or my dog wet the carpet tax.
No, Apex always gives you upfront pricing.
No surprise fees?
Never.
No charge if your stomach hurts or you lost your library card?
Upfront pricing every time at Apex Pros, whether it's plumbing, heating, and AC, or our new electrical services.
I'll call you right back. Hello, other company? Hi, me again.
It's Alex, the friendly Apex Bear. You'll never get a surprise charge with the Apex Pros upfront price guarantee. Schedule an appointment now at apexpros.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Timmy Hall. Cincinnati Bengals fans are hoping like crazy for a year of health for quarterback Joe Burrow. And Burrow is saying that learning the piano has actually helped him rehab his wrist injury that knocked him out of last season. He told Complex he always wanted to learn and that it was an opportune time to learn and that it's helped with wrist dexterity. Bengals will start the preseason Saturday, August 10th at Paycor Stadium versus the Buccaneers. To baseball, the Reds are at home tonight versus the Rockies at 7:10. Guards are in Detroit for a 6:40 start with the ball going to Gavin Williams. College hoops, Dan Hurley didn't go to the Lakers because of what he's got cooking at UConn with back-to-back natties. Now he and the Huskies agree on a 6-year, $50 million contract through the 29-30 season. He turned down a 6-year, $70 million offer to go to L.A. Buckeye basketball, by the way, Jake Diebler's first full year will start November 4th, a Monday against Texas in Vegas. Breaking sports news on The Fan.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Maxima Concrete. Visit MaximaConcrete.com today to schedule your free estimate.
All right, final hour of the program, Rothman and Ice. Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes. We'll have Jay Morrison on to talk Bengals. He's the beat writer for Pro Football Network. 2:33, Jay will jump on with us. Rock solid comeback at Wimbledon. The highest ranked American, Taylor Fritz, came back to beat Zverev. So I think Fritzy's now in the quarterfinals, which he made a couple years ago. And I got to tell you, I think he's tailor-made now to get to the semis, which he's never gotten that far. Mm-hmm. And you start thinking about a chance for an American to get back into the final Wimbledon or even win the damn thing. It's hard for me to put him in that category of like an Andy Roddick or a Pete Sampras, but there's hope now. And if we can get Rune to take out Djokovic, that may be even be better for him. And so here we are. So he came back and beat him in 5. We were watching it as it was going on. That's an epic win for him. And
now he can celebrate with strawberries and cream.
That's right. Very correct, Manny. Mm-hmm. You got that right. Mm-hmm. Strawberries and cream.
I like when they show like the footage of, the people kicking it at Wimbledon. I see like a lot of champagne, a lot of bubbly. Oh, yeah. It just seems like it's very bougie there.
Oh,
just
yeah.
a lot of high-end people just, spending thousands of dollars on, liquor throughout the week and all of
hospitality.
That. People in the stands wearing suits. I swear I saw Tommy Fleetwood earlier. In a suit.
Well, yeah, if he's in the royal box back there, then you gotta. Okay. And wasn't Mahomes there with his wife the other day?
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. I don't know.
Get some actors
it's
there.
Like a who's who.
Yeah,
it's a who's who. You leave the Michael Rubin party, you go over to Wimbledon. That's how you do it.
Sweet place, man. Hope he takes it through. That'd be nice to see an American get to the semis at least. So now I think he's in the quarters. So
Joker's still hanging on, huh? The crafty vet.
Yeah, I didn't know that because he had the injury and to the leg, and I didn't even know if he was going to play. And here he is, 24 times a major champ.
You got Federer and Nadal and Joker, the kind of the OGs around the sport.
Well, they're done. I mean, Federer's retired. Nadal's pretty much done.
Yeah.
And now you've got Djokovic hanging in there. trying to extend his deal. That's amazing. 373 major match wins, most of all time for the Joker.
I don't know. His knees are holding up still.
Yeah, well, he's glued together this week, and somehow he's doing it right. Even the walk down from like the locker room into the court is like walking through the hotel and everything. Yeah, like it's so
fancy.
glitzy, man. Look at that. It's unbelievable.
That's why you love it. It's how you grew
really
up.
do.
Country Club Rothman.
That's right.
Living the life, baby.
Absolutely loved it. I worked at him, and it's the best job I ever had.
I believe
a couple of them.
I believe
from golf, from cleaning clubs on one side, then we went to the tennis.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the best job was the camp counselor role.
That's true. That was that was pretty good.
Uncle Anthony loved the kids.
Yeah, the co-eds, the other counselors and things. I mean, it was a good time.
Now that's I think the real reason right there, CB. Not so much the kids, but the co-eds that you can kick it with.
The summer, I didn't want to be working inside.
Find a vacant cabin, somewhere.
I want to be stocking shoes in the back or finding. I need a 10.5. No, these don't fit. No.
You did it right. I'm telling you, because retail is not where you need to be. I did that at TJ Maxx, and it's a grind.
You loved inventory days.
It's a grind.
Well, it's all the stuff that falls off the hanger, and then the person just leaves it on the floor.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the bad
when
stuff.
Things are just completely out of order, and you have to re-rack everything at the end of the night, and like the larges are over by the smalls, or the men's, big and tall is in the kiddie section, and it's just like, what are we doing? Like, how did this even happen?
This whole place is out of order. The other thing is the try-on room, where people take like 4 or 5, 6 things. They give you the number, you go try it on, and like rarely is anything going to probably fit right. And then you either leave them in there. They like you to bring them back, and they put it on the rack, and then that's when they go back. But you're right, you'll find it. You'll find stuff anyway.
You know what? That built character. That built character doing that job.
Yep.
It really did.
That strap for cash out of paper route builds character. Did in my case. All right, so you were talking about the old running backs and how key they are in winning fantasy. And I'm one of those guys that just keeps stacking running backs till I'm done. Like, it's on my bench, it's like, find me the next guy behind the guy behind the guy.
And before we get into some fantasy stuff, Jeremy Fowler over at ESPN, he put out an article this morning of executives, coaches, and scouts around the league ranking who they believe are the top 10 running backs in the sport right now. Nobody's going to be surprised at who number 1 is. We all know who that is. It's Christian McCaffrey. But
I haven't seen this list.
You haven't seen the list. I think you're going to be surprised where Nick Chubb is, because I know I was surprised when I saw this. Now, if this is rooted in past production and not what he's going to do in the future, then I can rock out with where they have Nick Chubb. But because of the uncertainty around him and what we're going to get going into 2024, I was surprised that he ranks this high. Would you like to guess where Nick Chubb was?
Well, you've set it up. If you didn't give me that, and this is how many they just polled these GMs and people that.
Yep.
Okay. You're right. It'd be tough to disrespect him completely. If it's only going forward, then the injury he had and how severe it was, it'd be really tough to put this guy in my top 5. It would be. Just trying to trust it when there are other people that you could easily draft in fantasy. And I know this isn't about fantasy. I would suggest that they probably would have Chubb somewhere around 5.
They got him at 3. They have him at 3. And it says here in last year's poll when they did this, he was number 1, which is kind of surprising
as the best
to me.
running back in the NFL.
According to the executives, coaches, and scouts. He's amazing, right? We saw him. I've always said he was on the Hall of Fame highway to me. He was on his way to Canton with the trajectory of his career so far. But he's always been, to me, in that realm of running backs, top 3 to 4 guys. But coming off the injury, they still think very highly of him. And so that I can't wait to see how that plays out. At number 2 is Breece Hall. And you know where I'm at with Breece Hall. It's like, have I missed something? Maybe I just didn't watch enough Jets games last year. I know when Aaron Rodgers was out for them, I kind of checked out on them completely.
He's really good.
But are we at that point to where he's the second best back in the league?
He probably is. So here's where I think he's probably getting a lot of points, and he should. He tore his ACL in his rookie year, and he bounced back. He's been really good off that. Now, I'm not trying to reward him for having an injury and coming back. I'm just saying that when you think about what he's done since that injury, that's proving to me that he's wired a little bit differently. And he gets hit, he doesn't go down. He takes the contact and he goes. I thought he would be a big risk after that ACL. And when he wasn't, that's probably what they're seeing is that he's the real deal.
Yeah, I'm not there, man. Yeah, I'm not there to give him the crown to be the guy right behind Christian McCaffrey. Now, last year, I mean, the catches that he racked up were incredible a year ago. You know, you talk about Breece Hall. The dude got targeted 95 times and caught 76 of them. Now, I don't know if that's him being an elite pass catcher as much as it is Zach Wilson stinks at quarterback and he had to dump the ball off all the time. I don't think that's going to be the case this year with Rodgers, but I don't see it yet with Breece Hall. And like I said, I'm willing to admit, maybe I'm sleeping on him. Maybe I have been sleeping on him, but he is not a name that pops in my mind when I think about the next guy in line after Christian McCaffrey.
Let me ask you this, because I like to do this, and you know I like to do this. Like, if we're just drafting for one game, like I'm not talking about 5 years in the future or anything like that, because then we'd axe a couple of guys. But if I had to win a game today, but here's the problem. It depends on your makeup of your roster too. Because if you need an all-purpose back like that, because you don't have the quarterback that's going to be able to sling it all over the place, then you might want to take that kind of utility type back over some other guys. So they have CMC number one.
Yes, sir.
Is the guy they'd like to have today, regardless of the future or whatever pass.
CMC.
All right. And so 2 is not Derrick Henry?
No, 2 is Breece Hall. 3 is Nick Chubb. So we've got our top 3
we got our
on
top
the board
3
already.
So it would have to be Derrick Henry. It would have to be.
You're saying the guy that you would want for a game? Or you're saying who you think they have next in line?
Well, probably if I had to win a game.
You're going with Derrick Henry.
If I got to win a game tomorrow and those 3 guys are off the board, I'm either taking Saquon Barkley or Derrick Henry.
You know who I would take?
I can guess.
Who?
Bijan?
No. It's Jonathan Taylor.
See, I wasn't there with him.
Jonathan Taylor to me is a thoroughbred. And I know the injury stuff has been a little spooky here, but I just love Jonathan Taylor's running style, the power, the explosiveness that he runs with. And so I'm high on Jonathan Taylor, especially now when you get to pair him with Anthony Richardson and how that's going to open things up for their run game. I think if you're telling me a guy that's not ranked in the top 3 that will be in the top 3 next year, it's going to be Bijan Robinson.
Over the length of a season, over that, when you talk fantasy, and it's tough because you and I, my mind gets blurred on who I'd rather have on my fantasy team versus if I had to win a game tomorrow, who do I need in that backfield? And so I have no problem with you saying Jonathan Taylor. I mean, he hasn't been the guy that he was in 2021. We know that. But it's still, he didn't disappear. No. He really didn't. And so here he is coming back. If he's healthy now or has a healthy offseason, then he's probably going to be a guy that could get to that rushing title this year.
They've got him at 5. They've got him at 5. They've got Bijan at 6, Josh Jacobs at 7, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Okay.
Jacobs too high. He didn't like that.
I'm just saying, where's Barkley?
He's at 4.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They've got Saquon at 4, and then to round out the bottom, it's Josh Jacobs, Jahmyr Gibbs, Derrick Henry at 9. Travis Etienne rounds out the top 10.
Okay. There's probably nobody that really was left out except for if you believe that Kyron Williams is going to be that good again.
He's on his way. He had a monster season a year ago.
So he'd be the guy. And you know I love A-Chain. I really like him. I don't know anybody else. I mean, all the other guys like Harris is going to split the backfield in Pittsburgh. Kamara might be a little bit past his high point.
Think I'm out.
DeAndre Swift is in an offense where I think if the passing game works and Caleb is throwing the ball, he could have a pretty good year in Chicago.
Yeah, for sure.
He could.
And Jahmyr Gibbs, his ceiling is so high But I think we got to put some respect, or at least me, more respect on David Montgomery's name. Like, I don't think we talked enough about how good David Montgomery was last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, David Montgomery, he finished 9th in the league in rushing yards and 5th in rushing TDs. Like, that was just one of the quiet secrets of the NFL was how good he was. So they have a great duo there.
Great offense again, indoors, all that stuff.
For sure.
Like, that's helps when you have to respect that passing game so much.
But David Montgomery was balling last year.
He was.
But the
guy I'm probably out on that I had last year that I was expecting big things from is Tony Pollard. Like, he was in a good offense. I thought he'd catch a bunch of passes. He'd be the guy finally.
It just wasn't about that action, boss.
He just they couldn't get him in the end zone.
Well, he couldn't be the guy either. He couldn't be a horse. He's a complimentary back, which is fine, but he showed out he can't be a horse for you.
Get hit home runs. I mean, once he gets loose on a screen or something, he can go.
Yeah, but that batting average is about $195.
It was especially especially with runners on.
Yeah.
Like inside the 10, I thought we just couldn't get him in there. Now he's with Tennessee, so he's really in trouble.
Spears, I like Spears too for them. But yeah, league still thinks highly of Nick Chubb at the end of the day. Still one of the top guys around the sport.
All right, we will come back and do our pre-snap reads. A former great isn't falling for a certain narrative. We'll tell you what that means next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you've recently seen a photo of an older Baker Mayfield fresh off a bender, it's just Bo Bishop. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Come play Skyline's 75th Coney Hunt game. Use your phone to search for virtual conies, tap to collect coins, and redeem them for exclusive Skyline merchandise at participating Skyline restaurants for a limited time. Details at skylinechili.com/Coney Hunt.
Hey, it's Chops, and thanks to Awaken 180, I dropped my first 60 pounds in only 13 weeks. That's the same length as summer. Enjoy the summer months while creating the new you. Reserve your at-home consultation today at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
Ready for all those warm weather get-togethers? Fill up your grocery basket at Giant Eagle. Giant Eagle's Deals for Days program features more than 1,000 deals on your favorite items, so you can save more on what you like most. Barbecue parties, graduations, communions, they're all easier to plan when you buy at Giant Eagle. These low prices are available for a limited time at your Giant Eagle and Market District, so save today. Find more information on Deals for Days at gianteagle.com.
Is arthritic joint pain keeping you from doing the things that you love? Bone-on-bone pain in your knee, arthritic pain like I was having in my knee, maybe your hip, your back, your shoulder. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Listen, there are exciting new cellular therapies that you can get lasting relief from. QC Kinetics is helping patients like you every day here in Columbus, led by Dr. Ray Tesner. I'm talking about cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. Listen, my dad was having knee pain. I was having knee pain. So we went over to QC Kinetics, and they were able to help us out. And 2 years out, I'm still feeling good. My dad can still move around. So learn how QC Kinetics can treat pain and enhance your joints and restore your mobility and give you long-term lasting relief with no downtime. So check them out. Go to 380-208-4544 or head to one of their offices in Dublin, Gehanna, or now the new one that's most recently opened in Grove City.
Bobby Carpenter once sold workout equipment on QVC Canada. There's no joke here. That actually happened. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Life. It's full of strange twists and unexpected surprises. But at AAA, it's always been our policy to look on the plus side. And our AAA Plus members tend to take the same view. Take Martin, for example. Last Monday, his morning coffee surprised him with an extra 10 degrees of Fahrenheit. Ouch! It was just the jolt of energy he needed to start the day. Later, when his shirt was targeted by the mustard on his burger, he became a proud trendsetter. Martin, looking good! And when he walked face first into a sparkling glass door, he was happy to provide some much-needed entertainment for his coworkers.
I'm okay.
And of course, when his car battery took early retirement, Martin felt no resentment. He knew there was a plus side. AAA's expert roadside assistance was only a call away.
Hello, AAA. Are you in a safe location?
While we can't all be like Martin, we can become a AAA Plus member and experience the peace of mind that comes with living on the plus side. Towing is subject to a 7-day waiting period. Terms and conditions apply.
I've always wanted 3 kids. I came from a family of 3 kids, and I started picturing having 3 car seats in the back of my truck.
That's Megan, Wisconsin native, working mom of 2 and lifelong conservative.
Megan never thought she would get an abortion until a diagnosis late in her pregnancy changed everything.
Doctors told us our baby had no chance to survive. And because of Wisconsin's abortion ban, I would be forced to carry my baby for months, knowing he would die. It felt like a bad dream. It felt like a bad dream.
To get the care she needed, Megan had to leave the state. And now if senators in Washington pass a national abortion ban, families like Megan's will have nowhere to turn.
These decisions should be made privately amongst women and their families. And government should have no say in that. No senator in Washington should support a national abortion ban.
Paid for by Free and Just. Visit freeandjust.us to learn more.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, sunny, hot, and humid with a high of 93. Today's actually the hottest day of the week. Tomorrow will be slightly cooler. We'll have a few afternoon showers and storms on your Tuesday with a high of 89, and then some heavy rain Tuesday night going into Wednesday as the remnants of Hurricane Barrow move into central Ohio. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robshod with your Doppler 10 forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by the Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, a little Bet365 time.
Yes, sir, because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5.
All right, so I'm off the hook on the James Wood home run.
He got it.
It took me 6 games to get it. Or I don't know if I think I was probably only 3 or 4 for me because he'd already been up when I grabbed him in fantasy. Here's the interesting part. James Wood of the Nats has played 7 games. He's had a hit in 6 of the 7. So I think I'm going to mental hedge this and maybe buy myself a hit or make a little bit. James Wood over-under on a hit today. The under a half, so no hits, is plus 210.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to take the value on that and bet against my guy to get a hit and mental hedge it.
Mental hedge.
That'll
special.
be it.
That always makes you feel good. I like it. Guardians are taking on the Tigers tonight. And the starting pitcher for Detroit has made 3 starts this year. In 2 out of those 3 starts, he's given up at least 4 earned runs. His last outing was good, though. He pitched into the 7th inning and only gave up 2 earned runs. But I'm cooking with an all-star tonight. Give me Josh Naylor and his total bases at 1.5. I like the juice on this at plus 110. I'm going with the over for Josh Naylor. Hitting a bunch of home runs this year. Righty pitcher on the mound. He'll be swinging it from the left side. So Josh Naylor's going over 1.5 total bases tonight. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only. And you must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
All right, we just talked a lot about running backs. And this guy was certainly one of the best in his time. 6 times he made the Pro Bowl, led the league in rushing, led the league in touchdowns, rushing one year. And his name is LeSean McCoy, affectionately known as Shady. And Shady was on FS1, and he is not buying the narrative that it's anybody's ball game when it comes to the NFL.
I feel like we're not putting enough respect on the Chiefs. Like, we talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course. Do we know that? We talking about the Chiefs, champions, right? Yes, sir. Right, about to be the 3-peat. That's what they're trying to fight for? Trying to. So real quick, the Chiefs was winning with all these special players and weapons, right? Then they get rid of Tyreek Hill, right? Do it again. Nobody thought that they would do this. Like, there's no way they can just go back to the championship again, right? They do it again. And then You look at this year, the team wasn't that good to me. They wasn't that good. We were ever talking about, man, can you believe the Chiefs look this bad? Yeah. And then they win a championship, and then we're at the same spot again. We do this every single year, and I'm tired of it. I will not be fooled. Every year, right, we always say, who's the biggest threat for the Chiefs? And we always throw these teams around, right? We always do this. And then what do the Chiefs do? They win, and they win, and they win again. So listen, me, myself, LeSean McCoy, I will not sit up here, and I'm not biased. I love Andy Reid. I love all the Chiefs. They got me a championship. I get that. But I'm not about to sit up here and play this game with the big dogs. Everybody else, they're like we talking about like pit bulls and Rottweilers. These other guys are like German Shepherds, right? They cool. They good, but they're not that yet. And I'm not gonna play this game. There's no threat to the Chiefs.
He's wrong. There is a threat to the Chiefs. Doesn't mean they can't be the best team. But I'm not buying that there's no threat. San Francisco was very close as you can get. And we've had teams that can be a threat in a one game. This is a series or something weird, then yeah, but he's right to think that maybe there's not a ton. Yeah. Your team, the Lions made a run. I mentioned the Niners. We'll see how the Eagles bounce back. Houston certainly has shown in a one game they might be able to take somebody down. I'm coming over to your camp on Buffalo. It's time to now you got to show it. I don't want to talk until you do.
I've been there for 2 years.
The Bengals, Burrow coming back. Yeah. I'm not saying the Packers could go into a Super Bowl and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I wouldn't be that confident. But in a one game, if for some reason Miami got a decent weather game in an AFC title, maybe they could do it. Yeah. He's right in that it just feels like he said the results are there, and when it comes to that game, he's such a difference maker. But you brought up last week about Tampa that year. I mean, a lot of things have to still go right. They're in a really good spot, but I'm not buying the narrative that there's, quote, no threat to them.
No, neither am I, especially even just within the AFC. Like, there's so many teams that I have healthy respect for with what they can be this year and really be a thorn in their side, or maybe even, get ahead of the Chiefs. And the Chiefs right out of the gate have two big-time games that are going to mean a ton when we get late in the year with Baltimore and the Bengals right out of the gate. A thing that I thought Shady was wrong about in that clip when he said that last year's team wasn't that good. I think that's disrespectful to how elite their defense was a season ago. Just because Pat Mahomes and Kelsey weren't leading the charge all the time and they weren't blowing everybody up with points doesn't mean that team wasn't good. A lot of people had a ton of respect, and rightfully so, for CB's Brownies and what they did defensively. Browns were number 1 in the league in yards allowed. Guess who was number 2? The Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs were second in the NFL in sacks. That was the root of that team and why they were so awesome. Of course, when you have their big three on offense with the head coach, Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes, and Travis Kelsey, that's obviously a great place to start. But what got them to be in contention late in the year was Chris Jones and was L'Jarius Sneed and McDuffie and all of those guys that were Pro Bowl caliber players. So that's the only part I don't like about last year when we talk about the Chiefs is it always comes back to Mahomes and the quarterback. And that happens way too much in football. But that defense, AR, to me, deserves so much respect for them holding it down when that offense was a mess for a large portion of the season.
Yeah, no, it's true. And you got to be that good to win it all. You can't just be completely one-dimensional, and they weren't. And then when push came to shove, Reid and Mahomes drew it up better.
Kelsey was awesome in the playoffs. Travis Kelsey
he was able to flip the switch.
Big time in the playoffs.
Now, I've got to give a little bit. I'm not going to just – I think he's right in that, well, if you had to pick a team, you're picking them.
They're the gatekeeper. Yeah.
They are. There's no problem with that. And I was a little bit fooled. He's right. He'll get me there that you feel like, okay, 8-5, what's going on? And you start thinking, you've lost a couple games.
All the drops that we were talking about. Yeah.
I mean.
All that. But Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid, they're sitting on the throne at King's Landing. Somebody's got to take their dragon in there and burn it down and build another iron throne. Until you do that, they're the kings of the sport.
I mean, they beat a team in the Super Bowl in overtime. Like, it wasn't like you can't buy that there's a threat. The one thing that they proved, and I think he probably maybe went down this road, he probably could continue doing, what might be the most scary thing is that they finally had to go on the road to get there. They finally had to. They went into Buffalo. They went into your place in Baltimore and won that game, an ugly game.
Don't remind
me. They found a way to go on the road. They've always had Arrowhead as that unbelievable advantage to add to their greatness. This one was different, so I got to give it to them. Of course, you pick them. There is value though right now. Like if you believe in the Lions, you can get them at 12-1. If you believe in the Bengals, you can get them at 12-1. Like this is a very top-heavy San Francisco, Kansas City. Who would be third? Or is there only who would be third in that?
The Ravens are 9-1.
Ravens, okay, thank you.
9-1.
Yeah, but it does drop off a little bit. Very similar to college football this year. Georgia and Ohio State, and then the rest. So if you like value, it's there for you. Those are your pre-snap reads. Speaking of those Bengals, the beat writer for Cincinnati is Jay Morrison. He'll jump on next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The only radio station still operating with an active booze cart. I'm drunk right now. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
You know when you said come over for the fight? We thought you meant your house.
You guys want another round of Bud Lights?
Service is better here. And so is the beer.
Bud Light is back as the official beer sponsor of UFC. Enjoy responsibly. 2024 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Common Man and T-Bone here. Visit Hollywood Casino Columbus this summer for exciting live sports action. We got the biggest screens around, and ESPN Bet is live in Ohio.
Plus, Penn Play Rewards members can win up to $500 Penn Cash every week. Visit PennPlaySports.com/cover5 today and register for your chance to play and win.
Not a member? Get the Penn Play app today.
Hollywood Casino Columbus is your live sports headquarters.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Attention aspiring media stars. Are you ready to take your talent to the next level? Register for your chance to win the Be On Air Summer Slam contest. This is your chance to showcase your skills in a thrilling 30-second live script challenge. Visit now at studiocontest.com to secure your spot and compete for amazing prizes, including a 4-hour studio session, Shure MV7 microphone, and Audio-Technica M20X headphones. Don't miss out on this dynamic event. Be On Air Summer Slam contest, where talent meets opportunity. Visit studiocontest.com and sign up today.
Skyline is turning up the heat this summer with Hot Met Cheese Conies, made with a premium Hot Met sausage from Queen City Sausage. But don't wait. Hot Met Conies are only at participating Skyline restaurants for a limited time. Come get yours today.
Excuse me, waiter. There's a hair in my soup. A long purple hair.
I'm so sorry. I'll get the manager.
I'm the manager. How can I help?
Wait, weren't you the Plum Insurance mascot?
What gave it away? My long purple fur?
Something like that.
What if all insurance companies were like NJM and were known for putting their policyholders first, not gimmicks? Then all those insurance mascots would have to get real jobs.
I'll pass on dessert.
No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
One of the most important Buckeye football seasons ever is coming. The Fan is your home for all the news and interviews you need as fall camp approaches. Join us. We're a friendly bunch of degenerates. Your Buckeye station, The Fan.
Atlas Butler is built to keep you comfortable, and our plumbing services are no exception. You can rely on Atlas Butler for trusted, convenient plumbing and drain service. Our expert plumbers and drain specialists can take care of anything, from a broken water heater to a clogged drain. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Right now at Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down. And I mean everything. Top-tier equipment? Check. 24-hour access? You bet. Free fitness training? Always. Workouts in the free PF app? What'd I tell you? Even super friendly team members.
Hey, welcome to Planet Fitness.
Oh, hey, I was just mentioning you.
Hey.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th. See Home Club for details.
Hey, it's Anthony for the Good Feet store. 3 words for me, pain-free summer. Spent probably 30 hours walking around the Memorial Tournament and felt awesome with my personal arch supports from the Good Feet store in my everyday kicks. Sure, every now and then we all get random foot pain from pickleball or golf or just being a human being. Having my personally fit arch supports in my shoes has made a massive difference. And even right after I put them in, didn't take long to feel much more supported and aligned, and it's so easy to just move them into any pair. Before I had them, I dreaded being on my feet for any length of time. Well, you have nothing to lose but the pain, as they say. It's a free fitting and test walk. Try them for yourself. See the difference it can make. It did for me. And best of all, you can wear them home. 2 locations on Polaris Parkway and Stringtown Road, or schedule an appointment at goodfeet.com. The Good Feet Store, America's arch supports experts.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The best bet on the radio. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, while Joe Burrow has learned how to play the piano, we'll see if his team learns how to run the football when they need to. And to discuss that and a lot more is Jay Morrison, our friend, who's the Bengals beat writer for Pro Football Network, one of the best in the biz. Jay, welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Am I reading too much into that? I brought up the stats earlier in the show. Bengals were the worst team in running the football, yards per game, or second worst, rather. Less than 90 yards a game last year, and Mixon is gone now. And so complementary football, will it exist enough for them to become champions?
Yeah, I think it will. I don't know about being champions, but I think they'll be able to run the ball much better. When you look at yards per game, that's always a volume stat. And Zach Taylor, the play caller, the head coach, he's just never going to be a run-first kind of guy. And so that's why their mission this offseason, really even last year when they were trying to build this and then really focus on the offseason, is becoming more explosive and not just getting 4 or 5 yards every time you hand the ball to Joe Mixon, and finding backs that can break a tackle and they can turn a 5-yard run into 10, 12, 15, 20, whatever it might be. You know the defense is going to be daring you to run the ball. They're going to be sitting back in deep shells trying to prevent the deep ball to Chase and Higgins and all of that. So you need to make them pay, and either with screens to the running backs or with straight-up runs. And they think they found that in Chase Brown, and they really like Zach Moss. People look at Zach Moss; he's a bigger body, but he has that knack for making guys miss and for adding an extra 2 or 3 yards after he takes on the tackle or the contact and he's going down in the tackle. So that's their goal, is just to get more explosive in the run game, not necessarily to run it more often.
Jay, where are you at with Jermaine Burton as a rookie and what he can provide? You mentioned Higgins and Chase, and we know what they're about. That's an elite duo there. But Jermaine Burton coming in as a youngster, what do you see for him happening this season?
Yeah, again, volume is the question there because there's only one ball to go around. But he's gonna open some eyes. I mean, he is just fun to watch, even in practice when it's not really competitive. They didn't do 11 on 11 a whole lot, and you can't press cover and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see when it gets into the meat of it. But he just glides across the field, and he's got great body control. And the one thing that really stood out to me was he doesn't catch the ball. He goes up and snatches it. It is a violent attacking of the ball to grab the ball. And I think he's going to be special. Everybody said he's a first-round talent. He lasted till the 3rd round because of, coachability, maturity issues. That's a room. First of all, Joe Burrow isn't going to let an attitude like that fester in the locker room. And then Troy Walters, the wide receiver coach, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, it's a no-nonsense group. And so I think Jermaine Burton's going to fall right in line, do what he needs to do, and I really do think he's going to have a big part of this offense. He's just never going to be that. I don't think he's going to be a 1,000-yard guy with those other guys competing for all the passes.
Jay Morrison with us, Pro Football Network, covering Cincinnati. Let's flip it to the defense and talk about the back end of this defense. How do you feel about the upgrades? I'm sure they feel pretty good about them with Geno Stone and bringing Von Bell back and Battle trying to develop through that. You feel there'll be a big level up on the back end of that D?
Yeah, I do. I think it's just what they need. Geno Stone hits everything. He's got the football intelligence, and he's still young enough to be a dynamic player in this league. Von Bell's back here to kind of be the mentor, and I know they've installed him basically as the starter at the other safety spot with Geno Stone, but I don't know if he's going to be the starter all year. I mean, I really liked what I saw from Jordan Battle last year, the way he came on, his maturity. He was in a bad spot where, if he was back there with a bunch of veterans and everything was going smooth, I think you would have seen him look really good. But it was just such a train wreck last year, where the communication and all the missed assignments and everything. You get him learning under Von Bell and with Geno Stone, and I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Jordan Battle. Like, once everything gets put into place, everybody's on the same page, I could see Jordan Battle kind of supplanting Von Bell as the guy by about mid-season on.
Let's talk about the middle of this defensive line. A couple new names down there, young guys, and a vet coming in and Sheldon Rankins. Your thoughts on those guys and, replacing, a veteran presence and DJ Reader, whether or not those guys can play at a high level like DJ did when he was available?
Yeah, DJ's a big loss. I mean, not just what he did on the field, but it's just his presence in the locker room and what he meant to that group. I think that's one of the reasons they went and got a Sheldon Rankins. They kind of stepped out of their comfort zone there. They don't like to give these third, fourth contracts, whatever it is, to guys past the age of 30, but they were willing to take that risk on Sheldon Rankins and, go out and draft a guy like Chris Jenkins in the second round, McKinley Jackson in the fourth. They really retooled the interior of that defensive line, and it's going to be a big part of it. You've got Hendrickson and Hubbard on the outside. They're expecting Miles Murphy to make a big jump, but they really need to make noise in the middle of that defensive line. And I think Rankins and DJ Hill's underrated too. He's been here for a few years, so getting that push from the interior is going to be big for this defense.
The offensive line, protecting Joey B and then being a really good offensive line is going to be key. We know that. They went after it in the draft. I know Saban was on the draft kind of questioning Amarius Mims' football desire. I think that, who knows, maybe that'll motivate him. How do you feel about their approach to the draft?
Yeah, I think it was a smart pick, and we'll see. I mean, taking Mims in the first round, and I think the plan, like the ideal scenario, is for him to learn under Trent Brown and Orlando Brown in this rookie year, and then him be the starter next year. But again, it's a situation where I wouldn't be surprised to see a young guy supplant a veteran at some point in the season. Trent Brown has had a history of injuries. He wasn't here for most of the voluntary off-season portion, and Amarius Mims was getting all those reps and getting to know the guys he's going to be playing with and being in all the meetings. And he looks the part, but it is, desire, maturity, intelligence, whatever, all those things that kind of a young player has to overcome. If he can do that, I definitely think he could be the starter at some point in the season.
Jay, the Jamar Chase big-time contract that inevitably will happen, is that going to look very similar to Justin Jefferson's deal when you think about the guarantees that he got in Minnesota?
I don't know. I don't know if the guarantee part's going to look similar. I think that's going to be the big sticking point. I think the average annual value is going to look very similar. Justin Jefferson's getting $35 million a year. They may just give Jamar $35.1 just so he can say I'm the highest paid receiver in the league. When you look at that part of it, the Bengals just don't like to give out guaranteed money, and then Justin Jefferson's getting $110 million. So Jamar has been pretty open about that. That's the big thing that he's looking for is guaranteed money. But I don't know. We'll see where the contract negotiations go. I think I don't know that he can get 110 from the Bengals. I just don't know if they're willing to go there, especially with all the guaranteed money they're giving Joe Burrow. But it's going to get done, and there's no way they're going to not let Jamar Chase be extended here. It's been the mission since they drafted him and paired him with Burrow. I'd be surprised if it happens this year. Probably spring, summer next year. It'll get hammered out.
Yeah, good stuff, Jay. Always appreciate you, man. Be well. We'll talk again soon.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jay Morrison, Bengals beat writer for Pro Football Network. Listen, JJ was the first guy, I think, that cleared $100 million in practical guarantees. Like, he's the first guy, and he doesn't have a quarterback like Joe Burrow, and that's probably why they were able to do it. I think Chase, I just heard him say he probably doesn't think he'll get there to 110, but he'll get mid-80s guaranteed.
Well, I think he's getting 90.
You think he's going to get that
I think so.
Yeah. That'd be a good over-under to put on it, 90 and a half
that'll be
or
fun.
89 and a half.
And also, Jay mentioned that this might happen next spring.
Mm-hmm.
Do you wait? I don't know if you wait. I think you do it now if you're the Bengals front office. That's interesting. When he said that was a little eye-opening to me, but maybe know something I don't. But I'd be, I was kind of expecting it to happen in the next couple of weeks when they get to training camp. Maybe I'm wrong.
The cap keeps expanding, and the other thing is, does he want to be the first $40 million a year receiver?
Of course you do.
Or do you want the guarantee of the other stuff? So there could be something to play here.
Like Jay said, he ain't going anywhere. He ain't going anywhere. You know where you need to be on July 20th? That's the Cardell Jones charity softball game. We're giving away a family 4-pack of tickets right now. 614-821-9710 is our phone number. Earlier, we do it every Monday to round out the noon hour. We do Party Like a RothStar. I mentioned a baseball player's name in my list of candidates this week. Who was that baseball player? 614-821-9710 is CB's hotline number. You get it right, you'll get a family 4-pack of tickets to the Cardell Jones charity softball game on July 20th over at Huntington Park.
Tell the truth. Up next, Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
At AAA, it's our policy to look on the plus side, and AAA Plus members tend to take the same view. Take Martin. Last Monday, his coffee surprised him with an extra 10 degrees of Fahrenheit. It was just the jolt of energy he needed. Later, when he walked into a door, he was happy to provide entertainment for his coworkers.
I'm okay.
And when his car battery took early retirement, he knew expert roadside assistance was only a call away.
Hello, AAA.
Become a AAA Plus member and experience peace of mind on the plus side. Towing is subject to a 7-day waiting period. Terms and conditions apply.
My name is Dr. Ray Tessner. I'm an orthopedic surgeon in Columbus, Ohio. I've been involved with taking care of athletes and aging athletes for over 35 years.
Dr. Ray Tessner knows a thing or two about joint pain, and one thing he's a big believer in right now is regenerative medicine.
The advantage that I see in a regenerative medicine that there's really no downside to it.
Today, you'll find Dr. Tessner at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in this exciting way to deal with joint pain, using natural, concentrated healing agents from your own body to go to work on achy joints, restoring and repairing damaged tissue.
It's one of the best management tools that has come around in a long time.
Tired of that pain in your knees, hips, back, and shoulder? Before you go under the knife, get a second opinion from QC Kinetics. You really can get lasting relief with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
QC Kinetics has become a leader in the regenerative medicine field.
Go to QCkinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Attention weekend warriors. Fan Sports Saturday has moved to 10 a.m. Join Eric Reeser and Tyvis Powell as they dive into popular topics like the Buckeyes and Tyvis's liquid diet.
Saturdays from 10 to 1.
The Fan.
As a local family-owned and operated company, Newman Roofing takes great pride in providing great customer experience and quality product to every job they do. From the first phone call to the end of your project, they'll know who you are. Don't just get a roof, get a Newman roof. Call 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
Come play Skyline 75th Coney Hunt game. Use your phone to search for virtual conies, tap to collect coins, and redeem them for exclusive Skyline merchandise at participating Skyline restaurants for a limited time. Details at skylinechili.com/Coney Hunt.
You can use your phone at a doctor's office. You can use your phone at a football game. You can even use your phone at an amusement park. But one place you should never use your phone is behind the wheel. Fines now start at $150. So remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
You're not going to want to miss this. Diamonds Direct summer sale starts next weekend. For 3 days only, next Friday through Sunday, get 20% off. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale, too. 20% off starts next Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Did your mobile provider just increase their prices again? Switch to Spectrum Mobile, the nation's fastest growing mobile provider. With Spectrum Mobile, you get unlimited talk, text, and data, plus nationwide 5G. Switching to Spectrum Mobile has never been easier. We'll pay off your phone balance up to $2,500. Stop dealing with price hikes from your cell phone company. Get Spectrum Mobile. Visit spectrum.com/itpays-to-switch for full details. Offer subject to change. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
All right, this hasn't happened in a long time, maybe ever. But no one answered the question correctly. And because we have a real high integrity.
A lot of them didn't even listen to the question.
Well, and that happens. And that's why I'm not going to reward somebody that just was the last person in the lineup, and since they got it wrong, you're on the phone, you get them. That's not fair to everybody else. So we're going to do a makeup call. Okay. You get a chance, a second bite at the apple, which CB's going to love that I just did this to him. 821-9710. I mentioned to Maddie earlier about rewatching Breaking Bad was like crawling through 500 yards of that pipe in Shawshank. Maddie, of all people, said he would actually do it for a certain price. What is that price? And they've got to get it right, or we'll just hand out 2 packs tomorrow, or 3 or 4, whatever we need to do. So 821-9710, what was his price for crawling through the Shawshank pipe, 500 yards of foulness and stuff you don't want to describe?
Foulness is being nice.
Yes. Blank smelling foulness.
Oh, man.
Doesn't need to be described. All right. Tell the truth. Does he have somebody already?
Oh, man, hands up to the
You got
sky.
a winner already?
Winner, chicken
right
dinner.
out of the gate? All right, so I'm going to do truth.
Okay.
I'll do CB's truth questions. He says, today, it's National Chocolate with Almonds Day.
All right.
Where do the almond M&Ms rank in the M&M rankings?
Ooh,
because now they've done everything, right? Pretzels and all sorts of stuff.
By the way, the pretzel one, that's a banger of an M&M right there. I'm here to say I've never had the almond M&M. I've had the pretzel.
Comes in the tan bag, I think.
I've had the peanut butter. I've had the crunchy. But I have not had the almond. It can't be bad. I eat almonds every day. You see me 3 hours a day. That's pretty much all I'm eating. So it has to be good. But my palate has not experienced an almond M&M.
So I got to tell you, I think I'm with you. I don't think I've ever seen these or bought these.
Me either.
They look, it's in like a beige colored bag.
Okay.
And I'll run through the list real quickly because, obviously, the peanut butter M&Ms I've had, and those are amazing.
Well, there's 2 of them, right? It's the peanut and then the peanut
Crunch.
butter. Because I believe the
peanut M&Ms
is the
for
yellow
sure.
bag.
Oh yeah,
That's
peanut M. That's the old. That's
a hit.
The OG is the milk chocolate M&Ms, and then obviously the yellow bag. Yes, peanut M&Ms, amazing, great. The fact they found a way to do crunchy cookie M&Ms. Have you seen these?
My type of party right there.
All right. I have no idea what type of cookie this is, but that sounds unbelievably good.
Mm-hmm.
The M&M Minis. Not sure on those.
Had them a lot as a kid.
They're
all right.
The almond M&Ms, the dark chocolate peanut M&Ms.
I'm not a dark chocolate guy.
I didn't know if that was a thing.
Dark chocolate just doesn't work
Pretzel
for me.
M&Ms.
That's probably number 1 for me on the board.
Caramel M&Ms.
I don't think I've had those either.
Mint M&Ms.
That's the light green bag, right?
That's a purple bag, it looks like.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry. My bad. Yes. The mint ones are.
Then I've had those before. That's really good.
Fudge brownie M&Ms.
I haven't had it.
Caramel cold brew M&Ms.
Yeah, I'm not a coffee guy. I'll pass on that.
This is unbelievable.
Just keep going.
Campfire s'mores M&Ms.
Okay, I need those stat.
I mean,
I need those immediately.
That's a lot of stuff, intensity packed into a little candy.
The s'mores Pop-Tart
you can get all of that just all stuffed and jammed up with that s'mores.
I just need like a jar of all those mixed together, like the pretzel, the s'mores, the crunchy. Like just put them in a bowl and let's just get it popping.
Toasty vanilla M&Ms.
See, this is
you got to like white chocolate, I think.
I do love white chocolate.
Well,
I think the white hot take is the white chocolate Kit Kat is better than the original Kit Kat.
Here's some flavors that I don't think I could ever find. Coffee nut M&Ms, strawberry peanut butter M&Ms, dark chocolate mint M&Ms, white chocolate candy corn M&Ms.
Do
those
like
even
candy
exist?
They're probably seasonal. Sounds like a little seasonal.
My goodness, what a lineup they have. I never knew.
Yeah,
like this is a deep roster.
Yeah, they're not messing around. They've been in the game for decades. M&M's have.
I mean, they're not just complacent on their champion stuff, the yellow and the brown bag.
When was the first M&M? When were M&M's invented? I need to know. I need a year on this before we leave today. When did that happen?
Back in the 80s? No, I'm kidding.
It had to be earlier than that.
No, it's got to be like in the 20s or something. It's got to be around forever.
I've got March 3rd, 1941. My goodness.
Wow.
What family?
Yeah, it was in the 80s, but I did not enjoy it.
I did enjoy it.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, M&M's. Can't go wrong.
Okay, so where does the almond rank after everything I just said?
I don't know if I could rank it because I haven't had it, but there was a lot that I heard. You mentioned, AR, that probably would have almond easily outside of the top 5 for me. Easily.
Yeah, it seems to be top 3. Today's fan poll at 971thefan.com. Who is the best coach in the AFC North? Would you like to answer this for us, Matty? It's probably your guy.
I feel like Tomlin's got a good argument, too.
He's got a very good argument.
We got 2
Stefanski's done Coach of the Year stuff.
But we got to talk the Super Bowl.
Zach Taylor.
I mean, we got Super Bowls for a couple of these guys.
I think I'd probably be Harbaugh, splitting hairs.
That's a fun question.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm biased, but I'll be biased. I don't care. It's my guy, Harbs.
And finally, which position would you rather wait on in your fantasy draft, quarterback or tight end?
Quarterback.
Quarterback for sure. Yeah. There's too much depth there.
And the truth shall set you free.
Did we find a winner?
Yes, actually, the first caller for this question knew it was $500,000. Timothy in Delaware will get the 4-pack of tickets.
Okay.
We'll have more all week, right?
See you, Timothy. We'll give another family 4-pack away on Wednesday.
All right, well done. If you want to listen to any of the show, Backstrom talking Buckeyes, Joe Noga talking Guardians, Morrison talking Bengals, hit up the podcast, right, Matty?
Yeah, man, just type in Rothman and Ice. You'll see us there. And don't forget, subscribe to the podcast as well.
All right, Common and T-Bone up next. Take you through the afternoon. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Death, taxes, and beating Michigan every damn year. This is your flagship home for Ohio State football. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is a Fan action update.
It's been a wild roller coaster ride in July for the Cincinnati Reds. Starting the month, Cincinnati swept the Yankees in New York, followed that up by getting swept by the Tigers in Detroit. Today, they open up a 4-game series at home against the Rockies. The Reds are minus 172 favorites today with a 9.5 run total. Reds are now plus 630 to make the playoffs. For your action update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
Are you or a loved one struggling with addiction? Pinnacle Treatment and Recovery Works are here to help guide you on a path to a better life. We offer residential addiction treatment, detox, and opioid treatment programs throughout Ohio that fit your unique needs. We make it easy to get started. We accept Medicaid, most commercial insurance, and our access center is open 24/7. A better life is possible. Visit pinnacletreatment.com/Ohio. Where there is treatment, there is hope.
Colin Man here for Universal Windows Direct. Universal Windows Direct is the best. Why? Number one, they have the best technology. They have window systems that last up to 5 times longer than the other jabronis. Plus, they back it up with a true lifetime warranty for as long as you own your home and a 20-year warranty to the next homeowner. And how about the deals? 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years. Restrictions apply because they always do. Call them today, 614-502-5220. Schedule your free in-home estimate. For the last windows you'll ever need, go to UWD.com.
America's favorite car show returns to Ohio for the biggest hot rodding event of the year. It's the Good Guys 26th Summit Racing National, and it's all taking place this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus. Check out thousands of chrome and candied hot rods, muscle cars, and trick trucks. Shop the huge swap meet at Vendor Midway and see which rides take home the crown of the Good Guys 2024 Classic Instrument Street Rod and PPG Street Machine of the Year. It's all happening this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center, and you don't want to miss it. Get complete details at good-guys.com.
I can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
This is Paul Keels for Nature Stone Flooring, a unique blend of natural stone and their specially formulated epoxy expertly installed over existing concrete. Nature Stone is the only flooring solution for garages, basements, and indoor spaces. Family owned and operated since 1989, no other company or product can match the features, benefits, and unconditional warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor. Visit naturestone.com today and schedule your cost estimate. Act now and save up to 50% off any Nature Stone floor. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.